Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
While you're in sunny Florida, be sure to visit
WARlando! Into a world of epic adventure. And I was like, And the kids are like, oh no. And I was like, impish! And I started running. And Killian ran out the front door and he ran down the street.
Nice. Because you didn't want to be beaten with your cinnamon.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. I was like, impish! Admirable! So yes, no, you did not want to be beaten with my cinnamon broom. It smelled good, actually, when I hit him with it, but, So.
When you beat your child
When I beat my child
broom.
with it, I was like, man.
That smells good.
Yankee Candle's got nothing on this. Smells like cinnamon and pain and misery.
Oh.
Yes.
That's their new flavor. That's their new candle they're releasing.
Cinnamon and regret.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to WARlando. This is Adam, and we also have
Nicholas.
And
we have Mark.
Adam, Nicholas, and Mark. Here we are, WARlando. We haven't recorded in a little while.
Yeah,
we took a little bit of a break.
Yeah, no, exactly.
We've been waiting for our editor, who's just way behind. That guy is lazy.
God,
he doesn't know what
this
he's
guy,
doing.
He dozes off at the wheel.
He does. He's just been holding everything up. But here we are for now. This is our fourth episode. Well, I shouldn't even say that. We might release it in a different order. This is the fourth time we're sitting down to record.
Yeah. Officially
to record. And what are we going to talk about tonight, fellas?
Oh, we're going to talk about the realm of Ghur.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ghur, the realm of beasts.
The realm of beast, Ghur.
But I feel like you're right. I think you did that cat sound.
Exactly. I want to go, Ghur, Ghur, Ghur.
Right. And I didn't tell you I was going to do the cat sound. Maybe I should have told you to do
No,
the cat sound.
I appreciate it.
Back to one, guys. Let's go. No.
Spontaneous and natural.
Like,
and it
dude,
was.
I didn't really mean to do that. I was just.
Oh, yeah. I like that. I think that's how everyone should say it from now on.
Yeah.
All right.
Ghur.
But you also got to get your hands
Yeah,
up
like
and
the
like
claw,
a
like a cat.
Like a creeper.
Yeah.
Like a creep or whatever.
Got the talons.
Like we're doing the musical Cats.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, exactly.
And
yeah.
that entire play takes place in the realm of beasts. That's the play.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, mind blown right now.
Okay.
Holy hell. That's a totally different aspect of it.
We need to pause
never-
right now. We need to pause, and we need to go dress up into cat outfits.
You're not. I'm wearing mine under this.
Oh, you're right.
You came prepared. See, Adam is always thinking ahead.
I've got my tabby tights.
Leotard.
Your tabby leotard. Yes, exactly. Your leotard.
I've got it right underneath this. And I was gonna say this for you guys. If I were to ever open my own gay bar, I would definitely call it the Realm of Beasts.
Oh,
That
it's
is
a realm
awesome.
of deep.
No,
The Realm of Beasts.
I do like that. Yes.
I was
think that
thinking you
leads
were
it.
going to go with tabby leotard.
Tabby leotard.
Tabby leotard.
No, that's my DJ name. When I spin,
That is awesome. I love it in your leotard.
Yeah, my leotard.
Oh my God! And you're gonna have the cat whiskers and everything. Oh my God! I can just
it's
picture
great.
this.
I obsessed.
You're gonna be very successful in life.
I think so. I feel that way. When I was a kid, my mom loved the show Cats, and we went and saw it. Toronto has a big theater scene as well. It's like Broadway North, and we went to Toronto twice to see. From Kingston, it's like a 2-hour drive. It's a big deal when I was a kid to drive to Toronto and watch Cats live on stage. So we went and saw that one twice, and then we got 3 kittens and named them after characters from Cats.
No way!
Yep. Growl Tiger, Rumple Teaser, and Rum Tum Tugger were the 3 cats we had named after characters from the play Cats.
Oh my gosh. I've
Yep.
never seen the play Cats, and I feel like I'm missing so much.
You're
of that.
missing a lot.
We're totally
Oh my
missing.
God.
Well, after this podcast, we're sitting down and we're gonna watch it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay,
And
let's
that
get
might
this
be
over with then.
I know exactly. Anyway, all right. So that's it, folks.
That's it.
We got.
If you,
So you said that you went to go see that in Toronto. That's a long way away from Orlando.
it is a bit of a ways from in Canada, Kingston, Ontario, Canada.
Yes.
But we are now recording in Orlando.
Yes.
Yes.
Hence the name WARlando, which is a popular name amongst several different communities in Orlando. But we are keeping it for Warhammer in
Yeah.
Orlando. WARlando. That's
Yeah.
us. That's what we are.
Warhammer gaming in general, actually. So
Yeah.
you know,
Because we play the D&D.
D&D, Warhammer, other tabletop games like
Sure. Silver Tower,
Silver Tower,
40K.
40K.
yeah, no, exactly. Little Star Wars too.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
There, a little X-wing.
X-Wing.
Legion.
We gotta get that going on
Wars.
again.
Yeah, we're due.
So,
Brad's
yeah.
back in town
No,
soon,
exactly.
so we sit down. We'll do a nice big 4-player game.
Well, let's do that.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I just built that ATST model. Or no,
Oh,
the
AT-AT.
AT-AT model. Sorry, got to put that on the table.
Yeah, found it at some local market. Someone was selling a 1983 Return of the Jedi edition AT-AT model that was almost the right scale, but it was right in between. So it doesn't fit Star Wars Legion. It doesn't fit X-Wing.
Yeah, but I think it's a little closer to X-Wing. So, and what, you gave it to me like on a Sunday, and
You put it together.
I built it by a Tuesday
Yeah.
or something. So
Yeah, within the hour, he was just like, something, you know, we had a little function going on. He was like, yeah, screw all of you guys. I'm putting this together.
where'd Nicholas go?
Oh, there he is. He's off in the corner. Doing the really important stuff, and I think that's actually where we wound up to.
Well,
so,
if you're talking to any of us, that is the important stuff.
right.
That, like, paying bills and fixing up the house, taking care of the family, forget that. We need to take care of our gaming models.
exactly. Yeah, that's priority.
Priority one. Well, okay, so speaking of that, Nicholas, what else have you been doing hobby-wise, gaming-wise?
Geez. Well, so I got Star Wars Legion, and I've been building that. I've put the models together. I've played a little bit with Brad, and then I got that model from you, the AT-AT. I got a couple models from Black Friday that I put together, the AT-ST, Leia, and General Veers. So I've got these models put together. I'd like to play more. I don't definitely have 800 points, which I think is the standard for Legion games, kind of like in Age of Sigmar is like 2,000 points to be
So
standard.
800 for Legion.
Yeah, 800 would be standard for Legion. I don't think I have 800 for either side, but I'm getting pretty close. I don't think I need to have 800. I just think that I need to have enough to play what I want to play. And I'm excited to paint them, just to put them on my dresser or my shelf and just look at them. I think will be enough fun. I've also been working at converting a lot of my older, like 8th edition armies to the new Age of Sigmar standard of circle bases. They've all been on square bases. I have a whole dwarf army of so many points. I have a whole orcs and goblins army of so many points. And I made 2 lists, one in orcs and for Oryx, Greenskins faction, and then I made another one for the Duarden faction. And I took those lists and I converted them over to circle bases.
Nice.
So that's what I've been doing.
You told me recently something about Star Wars Legion that made me infuriated. Do you remember what it was you told me?
That Imperial Assault models are not the same scale as Legion models.
Oh my god.
I know.
That makes me so mad.
It's stupid.
It is insane. Why? Oh God, why? That makes me. So you can't interchange if you have a Princess Leia in Imperial Assault and you use her in Legion. She's not going to be the same size.
Right. Even if you just went and bought the expansion pack for the cards and the tokens and whatever,
Yeah.
just to be able to use the model that you've painted
Right.
for Imperial Assault to then use it for Legion, it's like, come on.
So which one is like the larger of the scale?
Legion.
Legion. All right, so Legion.
Yeah,
So-
and they're
so-
just a little bit. It's like
and you have a Leia for which one?
I have several Imperial Assault
Yeah.
models
Oh,
that
Imperial
I've been painting.
Assault. All right, so they're going to be smaller. So they're going to be
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like the other way around where it's going to be like a Primaris Leia.
Right.
You know?
No,
yeah.
it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not drastic, but say you've already
It's
got
one
10
head higher.
Yeah.
Is what it is. It's like one head higher.
But that's still like one head higher. It's like if your
know.
scale is 5-foot Leia versus 6-foot Leia. If you were to like mark it to like human,
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd be like 5. Yeah, you'd be like 5'5" Leia to 5'12".
Yeah,
which would
no.
be 6 feet.
Yeah, that's gonna bother the hell out of me.
Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
No, I'm just the Imperial Assault version.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That explains it all then.
Mark, what have you been up to?
Not a damn thing.
Well, what about life in general? I mean, what's been keeping you from being focused on your Warhammer?
Well, the really work. Work and work and work. Not exciting at all. But anyway, no, I've been doing some reading. I mean, there's been a lot. There's like a wealth of information now that I got the core book for Warhammer. And just been going through that and just loving that. And just it's really helped me flesh out what I think a lot of people have had an issue with is, what exactly are we playing in? In this Warhammer world, especially with the core book, all the maps. I mean, there's so much depth right now to it, and it's really fleshing out the worlds and all of these, mortal realms, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got me really excited about the game.
Reading about Ghur.
Yeah. Ghur. You got to say it like that. Yeah. Ghur. He did the hand motions perfectly.
If we had the video on, you could see 3 grown men doing little kitty paws every time we say Ghur.
You're so ferocious, Adam. Oh, so it's just been, lots of reading within the core book. Just awesome. I mean, it's really fleshing it out for me. And I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. Loving the mortal realms. I'm saying, wait.
It's fine.
You need to cut all that out.
So I read the core book, and I read the Malign Portents and the different generals' handbooks, and it just didn't seem like there was anything about the Realm of Beasts in there at all until I started going online and looking at the different wikis, the Lexicanum, which there's a lot of people that have spent a lot of time putting a lot of information out there, which I really appreciate. Just not only are they sharing the important information, they're sharing their sources, so I know where to go if I want to learn about, the death armies in the Realm of Beasts. What have they been doing? Some amazing people have been citing some great sources and some really talented people contributing to our knowledge. So now I know where to go to read all these different novels.
Where is that at? Lexicanum?
The Lexicanum Warhammer Age of Sigmar wiki.
Okay.
If you just type in Ghur, Ghur, Ghur.
And then if you do the hand symbols, then
It's hard to do when you're typing.
Yeah, you got to do it just right. Yeah.
You got to have good spell check because you're kind of typing with your knuckles, kind of like a cat's got their nails on their fingertips. Yeah, anyway.
You'll find it.
You'll find it, yeah. The Lexicanum, the different wikis, the community page. There's a lot of people really putting it out there for us to get more information if you want to know more about it. Yeah, it's awesome. So I want to go back. I want to start doing more reading of the novels. I haven't read them. Nicholas, you've read a lot of the 40K novels, right?
A bit. I mean, I've read into the Horus Heresy series a bit. I've read a little bit into the Age of Sigmar series, but not much.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's captivating.
It is.
It really is. So, but first, what have you been doing?
Well, I've been trying to get a little bit more organized since we did the back in October. First off, I want to say we are drinking some amazing beer again this evening.
Yes.
And right now, Nicholas was kind enough. What'd you bring over?
Some old Rasputin. Saw him at ABC. I said, hey, we're having a podcast. Why don't you come join us?
Yeah. Another one of the great beers, the old Rasputin. It's a very, we call it a stout, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's strong. It's bitter. So satisfying.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. It's great. So if you hear me fighting the belch, like constantly fighting, it's because you can blame old Rasputin for me accidentally belching into the microphone while we record. I'm going to try and edit all of them out. But back to what I've been up to other than drinking beer. I got a dog, which has been occupying a lot of my time. Her name is Luna. She is a Havanese poodle mix. So the Havanese from Havana, Cuba, a breed specially, bred to be a lap dog mixed with a poodle. Haley and I, my wife, we both have terrible dog allergies, so it took us a long time to find a dog that we could live with, and she's been absolutely great. She's all black. She looks like a teddy bear. If you see her in person, she immediately she wiggles so hard she can't stand up, and then she flops right on her back so you can rub her belly. So that's been an absolute joy and occupying a lot of my time.
Yeah.
When not doing that, I haven't done a lot of painting lately. It's been a lot of organizing. I've got lots of boxes with sprues that still have bits on them. So I've been going through all these sprues and trying to sort the bits that are there so I could get rid of the sprues, like particularly with the Daughters of Cain stuff that I've been doing. I've been sorting those sprues and getting rid of the boxes, getting rid of the sprues, and putting them all organized so when I get around to doing some customizations or I love having a giant stack of bits ready to go.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we still need to do that. We need to get all our bits together and just do a trading.
A swap meet.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Hey,
I would love to do that. I've got a bunch of stuff from different kits I've collected over the years. And, if you guys have projects in mind.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so many of these big kits come with extra stuff.
So much stuff.
I like what GW is doing with the push fit models, which I think is a great idea, but I feel like they're not putting a lot of the customization bits in there. One of the kits I hadn't really paid attention to was the Skaven Vermin Lord. I think there's like 5 different ways you could put that model together with all these different things you can customize, which is great.
Yeah.
The more ways you can make it unique, and then you can have your own where you've got, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's something, your own unique thing. So,
I have these dwarf longbeards, essentially, is what I'm using them for, and all these extra bits that I got from the set that was Iron Drakes or Iron Breakers. It was really well designed stuff, and so I made Iron Drakes out of it all, and then I had all these Iron Breaker bits that were still arms and axes and different things, and so I just kind of converted them all over to my Longbeards and just made them look like some badass Longbeards, just update those old models to be a lot nicer looking.
There's so much potential to keep things unique and exciting. I've got so many like we were saying, so many bits collected that you can use to make something unique, and it's such for a community. When you bring your army to the table, you're really giving something to the other players when you do that. When someone can sit down across from you or on the table and they say, "What is this?" They're seeing something they've never seen online, never seen pictures of. It's like a completely unique thing they're seeing in person for the first time.
Yeah.
That's so much fun. It's so satisfying.
Oh, yeah. No, I love that. I love seeing that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, so much creativity out there, So
Yeah. I mean, one thing that we did together, Adam and I, was the Crucible tournament.
Yeah.
And that is a bed for like seeing creativity come alive.
Oh yeah.
Because you've got these players that play with these armies and they take all year and they get ready for this one tournament in the Orlando area, and they really do some creative stuff because they want to win those points for creativity and modeling and different things like that.
The last time I played it's a couple of years ago when we did that team tournament. I didn't see the emphasis on that.
On the customization,
they had pretty much the same
conversions
point scale.
Yeah,
but as far as points for the army composition, it's how does it look? How well is it painted? How are the bases right? The points were the same, but it didn't seem like that time versus this past time in October that, man, people were really passionate and excited about it.
Yeah, because it was actually like a part of the point system this time was conversion, and so it was one of the qualifiers.
Yeah, conversion and baseboard.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize. As I belched my Rasputin off the mic, I didn't realize how important it was to have a battle board that you bring your army on. So I'm gonna get to work on that next year.
Great.
And I actually I haven't talked about it since, because the last time we sat down was before Crucible. Now after Crucible, I won an award
Yeah.
I was.
What did you win?
I won best sportsman.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that
Hey.
means Haley, my loving wife, says I was Miss Congeniality. So that's the best sportsman, Miss Congeniality.
No.
Yeah,
But, you know, the stark contrast to the one guy who just, like, threw the dice.
yeah, I felt bad. The guy, it came down. One of the games we were playing, I had my 30 woman unit of witch elves. I managed to sandwich them between. He was playing corn, and so we had a block of bloodletters and a block of the what are the guys called, the human corn, are they bloodbound?
Blood Warriors,
Blood
right?
Warriors.
Yeah,
Blood Warriors. So we had those two. They were really close together. I got my unit of witch elves in between them, so they couldn't move until they killed all the witch elves. And he threw everything at these witch elves, and it came down to one witch elf that was still just. I when I pulled them off, I made sure that she was the last one, and she was the one within range of both of them. And all he had to do was kill this one witch elf, and he could advance, take the objective, and win the game. He could not kill her. And the last thing he did, in the hero phase, he was throwing all those different, like, boiling blood things. What's that one called, Mark? The boiling blood.
Yeah, the slaughter priest, right?
Yeah, everything he could do in the hero phase to get rid of her so he could move his unit on the objective, he was throwing it at this one witch elf. And either he was rolling too low or I was rolling their save. And that last time he missed the roll. He picked up his dice and threw them. And in the middle of and he even knocked over like a couple of my models when he did it. He felt immediately apologetic, and I was really, I completely understood the frustration when that many in a tournament like that comes down to just failing like 3 or 4 die rolls in a row.
Yeah,
maddening, just so maddening.
Hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. So,
yeah,
you know,
it is, and to be in that situation though, I felt like I actually played smart for a change, and was able to see the vulnerability and block him when I could. He had the chance to get around it, but the dice just weren't in his favor.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he had his guys just a little bit more spread out, I wouldn't have been able to block them both with the one unit, so he could have gone around and caught that objective. But it was a great game. And I wouldn't have been ready to face that army if I hadn't played so many games against Mark and his corn bloodbound army.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we both had a good time. We both, the doppelganger cloak.
Oh, my God.
From the Realm of Shadow. Do you want to talk about the doppelganger cloak?
I don't know. I mean, because I'm going to sound like such a ignorant imbecile. So just playing the whole tournament, 5-game tournament, right? 2 days, just foot slogging it the whole time. I'm card drawn overlords, so I feel like it's an uphill battle every game. Only because I don't have the spellcasters, and so I can't really get some of the objectives that other people get because of the different scenarios.
Yeah,
so
I don't remember which one it is, but yeah, you have to have I
have to play just a little bit more strategically in who I place where. And so personally, I know I shouldn't, but personally I feel like it's an uphill battle sometimes. And I also don't know all the other armies great. And so that's an uphill battle. But so that's not card drawn overlord specific, but this last game of the tournament, you know, we're both playing. We go through the list of everything we both have.
Because we got to talk to each other about the other players.
The day before, you talked to me about the doppelganger, because I think you played.
My second game. I lost my first 2, won the last 3 I played.
Yeah.
But he was the second guy I played. He was Slaanesh army.
Oh, yeah.
And so you had told me the day before about the doppelganger cloak, and then we went through the list, and he told me about the doppelganger cloak on his Slaanesh, general. I think it was the Keeper of Secrets.
Yep.
Is that right? Yep. So Keeper of Secrets had the cloak, and I went into this mode of great. Yep. Got it. Great. and then turn 1, I just went into what do I do
Your
with
normal.
my KO? What do I do normally? I set up to where I can pick off the biggest units on the board, take them out, turn 1, and then control the board for the rest of the game. And so turn 1, I ran in my ship, I unloaded my guys, I shot my engine riggers across the board with their chainsaws, surrounded his Keeper of Secrets, and I did not get to attack her that round because I forgot about the doppelganger
The
cloak.
goddamn doppelganger cloak.
Son of a... And I was like...
So, Mark, do you know what it does?
No, I'm not familiar with this.
So it's an
So tell me.
artifact. It's from the Olgu, the Realm of Shadow.
Okay,
and
right,
it's
right.
Whatever the actual flavor text is. The rules say you cannot attack the bearer of the doppelganger cloak until they have activated in the combat phase.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself either with your units in combat with that model, they cannot attack that round until that model with the doppelganger cloak is attacked. But if you have to activate that unit, and you still haven't had a chance to activate the unit with the doppelganger cloak, I can't attack anybody.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. So
happens.
I forfeit my round.
And he still gets to attack back.
And then
so he can
gets
chip
to
away
attack
at you.
back. So
that's your
that's
turn. and
exactly
he's
what I
like,
did. I ran it up,
"Hey."
surrounded it, and he was like, "Ruh-roh," and I was like, "Oh,
Here we go.
And
Yep.
what does suck is that he did the same thing to me the day before, and we talked about it, but we
Yeah.
didn't talk about it wasn't clear that it was the same guy. You know?
Correct.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, I ran the same situation with my daughters of Cain, and I couldn't get this guy off the objective because I couldn't. I'd gone right in with a unit of witch elves and surrounded this Keeper of Secrets, but he just left out in the middle of nowhere. It's like this obvious trap.
Yeah.
Like one of those things at the bottom of the sea, those cuttlefish that have the little light that dangles,
Oh, yeah.
so you can get sucked right in. So
Right.
yeah, he throws out this little hey,
Yeah.
eat up this tasty morsel. And,
Yeah.
Oh no, you
exactly.
can't. Now you're stuck here for the rest of the game because you can't attack this model.
And it's so funny because he actually hid her behind his line of guys, and I still cleared away. I still shot enough in between to make a hole for those engine riggers to make it in and surround him. And so he even was like, "Dude, I told you about the doppelganger cloak."
Yeah.
And you still went for it, and I was like, "I know."
not like he was
but I
unfair
was
in
just
any
like,
way.
I was tired, and I had just was.
It was the
doing
last game of the tournament.
the last game of the tournament. I was doing my routine, and it was the first time I had played the doppelganger cloak or whatever, and
Yeah.
and it was
It's
just so frustrating. And then
Yeah.
the rest of the game, of course, I'm trying to play catch up, and I had put so many wounds against the Keeper of Secrets, and I had killed so many different demonettes across the board because they're so squishy.
Yeah.
That he ended up being able to drop like 2 20-man or woman units of demonettes right on the objectives and took the game at the end.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
Yeah, that's so maddening. There's an artifact from Chaman, the realm of what? Metal. That's it. Chaman, the
you.
realm of metal. I think it was Chaman. There's an artifact that if
oh man,
you're a
it's been
certain
while since I've done
distance,
that.
if you're a certain distance from a hero with an artifact, you can nullify that artifact. So I'm curious if, because everybody is seeing the value of the doppelganger cloak, I wonder how many people are like, I'm going to put this artifact on some hard-to-kill hero that I can just fly around the table and just put it near an artifact I need to cancel.
Oh, wow. You're just like, nope.
Yeah, I don't know if that's in the meta.
No, we gotta
I
look
can't
that
remember
up. All
which
right. All right, so
one it
that's
is, but
Homework project.
homework. Yeah, do you guys think that would be valuable?
Yeah, I mean, if you can cancel out another artifact, then I mean,
Well, that's big.
yeah, that's big against
think
that.
that's-
Yeah, to
and
be able
and
to
other
shut it
things.
down.
Yeah, especially something like that,
Yeah. And
Yeah, so it's called Gildenbane from the Realm of Metal. This armor negates the properties of magical artifacts nearby. If an enemy model is the bearer of an artifact of power, they cannot use the rules for their artifact of power while they are within 3 inches of the bearer of Gildenbane. So I'd be curious to see if that... I don't know how many artifacts of power are going to be out there that people are trying to take advantage of, but I know with the Daughters of Cain, there's a couple of artifacts that give me rerolls, other things, valuable artifacts out there to be able to just shut those down.
yeah.
How often are you going to be able to get a hero within 3 inches?
And I was playing one that made one of my KO champions, or heroes, sorry, as a... he had an artifact of power. And so now he was able to be considered a...
be able to control those objectives in that one scenario.
He could do that, and he could unbind spells. I don't remember which one it was for the KO or which one was from the realm that I chose, but I was able to then unbind spells. So right there, cancel the ability for me to take an objective.
Yeah, you still possess the artifact. I'm not sure how the wording on that particular rule. You have to have a hero with an artifact or have a wizard. So you still have the artifact.
It just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right.
It might be something too for your corn because you want to shut down magic of any kind to have something that shuts down other magic.
Ugh. Yeah. What is that thing that you've been playing against us with? The guy that cancels or makes us re-roll the casting.
Who is that? That is tough.
Yeah, that's the Bloodsecrator with the he just runs up, plants his big flag, Portal of Skulls, it's called. So any sort of casting attempt
in 30 inches.
No,
right?
That is with the Slaughter Priest by them.
Oh,
and,
okay.
So that's the whole Ghur Pilgrims.
Okay.
So that's how I have that.
That's been frustrating.
Yeah, it's been fun.
By the way, just to let you know,
it's been very satisfactory. Thank you on this front.
Well, it's been great, frustrating, but great at the same time because the last couple of games we've had have been Triumph and Treachery games. We've played against each other, and we've been playing together for 5-6 years now, and it seems as often as not we're playing Triumph and Treachery.
Oh yeah,
of some kind. Played the old 8th edition one, and now the new one.
Oh, so much fun.
Yeah. So for me, watching Nicholas have to re-roll all of his spells because he's the one that's closer, it's been really great.
Right. And I've been playing my Death Army, so I actually have access to casters now.
And my first time playing against skeletons, and I'd heard they were bad.
Holy hell! Yeah, no, it's all true.
It's all true. Oh man! Finally taking out that one big block of 40 skeletons, and you're just like, I get to bring back that whole unit. Okay, game over. That was
what are you talking about?
And then I give them +3 attacks.
So skeletons, I really thought Witch Elves were really high end when it came to their, because it's not hard for a Witch Elf to get 4 attacks per model, but for skeletons too to have 4 attacks, for whatever reason, just thematically or just my presumptions about death armies, having not played skeletons or zombies. I played zombies before in 8th edition, and zombies are slow. They resurrect quickly. Skeletons, for whatever reason, I was picturing the kind of same thing in my mind, like those slow moving skeletons, but no, these are Jason and the Argonauts skeletons.
No, they're in there. They're
super
in your face.
Fast, cutty, dangerous, hard to kill, come right back again. Yeah, I really like the skeletons.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, we've had a couple close games, but there's only the 2 Triumph and Treachery scenarios in the General's Handbook.
Yeah.
I wish there were more because they're very similar and they really do come down to kill points, both of them.
Yeah. I'm sure we could probably take the old Triumph and Treachery book and maybe try to adapt some scenarios for
we
that.
Probably modify that pretty easily.
Or take the existing scenarios and try and work something like the 2-player scenarios and work something out. So that's what kind of what we've been up to hobby wise, and tonight's episode is about What realm? Ghur. The realm of beasts.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what we're talking about tonight. The core book,
Yes.
The Realm of Beasts. It's very short.
Yeah, compared to the other ones that we've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like 2 pages.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot there that they talk about in the actual core book. So if you haven't been reading a lot of other stuff, the core book doesn't really give you a lot of info on the Realm of Beasts. So yeah, just these 2 pages, and then you're right on to Azir.
Yeah.
It does sound fascinating what they put in here, but yeah, there's not a lot of info.
Yeah.
Maybe before we dive in, we should take a quick
Quick break.
Yeah.
And then
we'll
head
take a
back
quick break
and
and
we'll dive right in.
Yeah, so we'll take a quick break and we're going to start talking about Ghur.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The realm of beasts is a near endless string of jagged continents, each awe-inspiring in its primeval splendor. Here, every creature is red in tooth and claw, and every animal, insect, and plant is both predator and prey. Even the landscapes are possessed of a hungering animus. Primal violence lurks everywhere, in man and beast alike.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have now returned from our break. We're feeling refreshed. We've got a new beer. What are we drinking?
The Arrogant Bastard.
The Arrogant Bastard.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is part of a line. Like, was it the Bastard? The name of the line?
Arrogant. I think.
Arrogant.
Arrogant's the name of the line, and then the different beers are different names. So this is the Arrogant Bastard.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a fun word to say.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys try saying it?
Arrogant Bastard.
Yep.
Arrogant bastard.
Bastard. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
dastardly bastard.
So here we are, Ghur, the Realm of Beasts. We're talking about page 112 in the core book.
Yeah. It's only 112 and 113 in the core book.
It's very short in the
Very
core
short.
book. There's
Yeah.
not a lot here. So what do you guys think about what you saw here?
There's, it's only 2 pages, but there's a lot of depth. I started reading this and the mind just started going.
Yeah.
I mean, what place is safe? Oh, nowhere. No, yeah. Nothing.
The entire land is at war with itself. It's very elemental. You talk about realm of fire, realm of metal, realm of life. Obviously everything's elemental, but this one, all of the elements are at war with each other. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Oh, no, absolutely.
The mountains are at war with the oceans.
Yeah.
Fighting for control to overtake each other, and saying the mountains are trying to grow taller so that they can get a layer of ice as armor.
Yes. No, exactly. like to build that defense,
Yeah.
So.
And that kind of spells out that it's ever changing.
Yes.
So you could go to sleep at night in a cave, come out the next day, see something a little different.
Well, exactly, and that's what it said. It was like you may take refuge in a cave, and then wake up, and then the whole landscape has changed, slightly different. And I'm like, the way it makes it out, it's like, well, the damn cave could have eaten you.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
the
yeah.
cave could be alive.
Yeah.
You're part of something it can consume.
Yeah.
And that also kind of explains why they don't give us a map for Ghur.
Ghur. No, that is ultimately true, because the landscape is always changing.
Yeah, and it's kind of like our actual planet. You talk about it millions of years ago. Was it Pangea? What was the name of that big continent when it was one continent and then they all split apart?
No, exactly. And this is how this is, except it's happening every day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That is a lot of conflict, and the talking about evolution and conflict making people stronger. That makes sense. The realm of beasts would have the toughest people, but not necessarily the smartest, most enlightened people, because it depends on it takes generations to build knowledge, to build schools, to build civilizations.
Right. No,
They're going to be very primitive.
Well, it's
dangerous.
primal.
Yeah.
It's that animal instinct, hence the realm of beasts. So this is. I mean, like right off the bat, you got the orc, coming at you, and I figure it is just a playground for the ogres and the orcs here.
Yeah.
I feel like they
destruction.
like it.
Oh, they love
They
this.
want it like
I mean,
this.
is. I mean, just come on, Ghur, rain down on me.
When I went to the Smithsonian, have you guys ever been to the Smithsonian?
I have
DC?
not. No.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
man, if you ever have the opportunity to go. I went when I was a teenager, and it was just such an amazing experience. But they have the natural history part, and so you're seeing the mastodons and saber-toothed tigers and all these different species that have since become extinct that were prevalent on the planet. Ghur sounds like all these things exist at the same time, and this like evolutionary cycle is just happening all in a day.
Oh,
where
yeah,
like an
no,
entire
exactly.
species is being
Yeah.
wiped out because they couldn't keep up with that evolutionary curve.
But it was saber-toothed tigers. It was also the mammoths. It's also Tyrannosaurus rexes and velociraptors. And,
like all of natural history is existing at the
everything
same
all
time.
at once. Yeah, no, exactly. Tectonic plates are shifting, and volcanoes erupting all at the same time. It's
Yeah.
a daily occurrence.
And humans.
So yeah,
And humans.
And
Also, like,
exactly.
here we are riding the
what's up,
dinosaurs.
man?
Like, what's
no,
that?
exactly.
What's that place out there? It's not the. What is that museum? That like not the Noah's Ark place, but the one he did before that, the Biblical History Museum. The guy has all the pictures of the kids riding the
Something. What's his name? Something Ham.
yeah,
Ken Ham.
Ken Ham, the
No,
Ken Ham
exactly.
Museum.
So he has that's right. Yeah, all the children riding like velociraptors, and they got
The Ark Encounter.
Well, the Ark Encounter was the second one he did. Before that, he had another one that was very
Got it.
similar. But yeah,
Okay.
that guy
why
who's
not?
like, the Earth's was it 12,000 years old?
No, it's not even
And-
that. It's like it's
Yeah.
like, it's
6,000 or
200.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6,000 yeah,
for
something
them,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so if dinosaurs did exist, they existed, like in Noah's time.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, that's a totally divergent path.
Yeah.
We're taking.
Totally true. Yeah.
I had a piece of paper that I printed. Mark, did you see it? That had the.
All right. Oh, fuck a doodle do.
Train wreck of a human
Good
being.
Lord, you like Amtrak? You derailed.
Hey, all right, we're back. I just tripped over everything, busted my ass, showed off my dexterity score, which is apparently like a 6 out of 18.
Nah, you look good. You look like Mary Lou Retton out there.
I was as I fall on my face. Okay, so I have from that Lexicanum site that I was talking about, the Age of Sigmar wiki that I found. They've broken it down to some of the more fascinating landmarks in Ghur, and from that I've whittled it down to some of my favorites. So talking about Ghur, there's giant monsters all over the place, like whatever other realms can produce as far as giant monsters.
I love this.
Ghur has the best of the best as
This
far
is
as like
exciting.
evolution.
Yeah.
They have the giant worms. So there's the two type of worms. There's WYRM and WORM. So this is WORM worms, giant worms that are just bigger than cities, that are just loose crawling around Ghur.
I love it. I
Just-
picture like Dune.
Dune,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Dune, giant worms. So one of the cities in Ghur is called the Crawling City, and it is a city-state built on the back of a great worm, and that worm is called Shugol, SHU''GOHL, Shugol.
All right.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
A giant city on the back of the worm?
Yeah.
I have no idea how that works. That
Does
sounds
the worm-
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does the worm just like move slowly every once in a while?
Or
How does
are
it-
they in control of it? Is there like a department, instead of like the Department of Sanitation, it's the Department of Worm Control?
Oh, that is it.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, can you imagine like an entire city on this vast realm? The city is just slowly crawling, and does it have a cycle? Like you talk about animals in nature, how they have, like, they wake up in the morning, they feed here, they get water here, they feed here, and they come back to go to sleep at the end of the night. Is that what the worm has, like, a path it does every day, a certain cycle that at like a certain time of day or seasons?
But maybe its cycle isn't a day. Maybe its cycle is like every 10,000 years it
Yeah.
does this.
That could be a day for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for it.
Who's to
Yeah.
say, it's all a matter
maybe
of perception.
it could be traveling the equator and just doing one continuous
And that's it.
realm, travel around the realm, just constantly moving.
Yeah.
But what does it eat? Do you know what I mean? What does it produce when it finishes its movement?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is in Ghur, the crawling city. I
love that.
Favorite location in Ghur is the Black Marsh Barony.
Oh, yes.
So the Black Marsh Barony is south of the Amber Steppes, known for good beer and giant turtles the size of a castle.
So mind-blowing.
Yeah, so
What
this,
the
like,
hell?
the Never-Ending Story.
Yeah.
Oh,
What was the name of
yeah.
that turtle in the Never-Ending Story? Like, no.
We're going to consult Google in a moment for that.
We're going to have to.
Who's the fastest Google
I don't
consulter?
have my phone.
You're the slowest.
I'm the slowest.
Okay, Nicholas is going to be the fastest.
All right.
It was something like, not Mara, something with an M, I thought.
Morla.
Morla, not Mara,
That's it.
Morla.
Morla.
Morla was the giant turtle, the
Yes.
oldest living creature in the Never-Ending Story.
Yep.
So these are in the Black Marsh Barony. There are giant turtles the size of a castle. And this goes on to say that from whose excrement tore up gold is extracted. So these are giant turtles that shit gold.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giant
Yeah.
turtles the size of a castle that
Yeah.
shit gold. Can you imagine just the industry? So thinking about like Dune and talking about how people are like the spice miners.
Yeah. No,
There's
exactly.
this entire industry that are following these castle-sized turtles.
Oh, yeah.
And just
Mining gold.
mining gold out of their
It's
shit.
that spice ain't shit.
No.
It's the shit that's the shit.
It's
right
the
there.
shit
Yeah,
that's
no,
the shit.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spoiler alert in Dune, the worm shit spice. So everybody's eating worm
Oh,
shit.
my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the Black Marsh Barony, they're drinking beer and mining turtle shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Marsh Barony, turtles the size of a castle that shit gold. And they
love
have
it.
good beer.
Let's go.
So there's this other place called the Blood Bloom Fields. They're also known as the Singing Steppes. It's a field surrounded by rib cages of animals of impossible size, covered in red grass and crimson flowers. So the reason it's called the Singing Steppes is when the wind blows through these giant rib cages, it sounds like this whistling flute sound.
I love this.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
It's great. There's another one called the Gargant's Graveyard. It's a vast array
this one.
of sun-bleached bones. Many of these are the remains of thousands of Gargants, but there are also a substantial number of other skeletons from other races as well. Some of these rib cages and skulls are the size of Duardan citadels. In the center is the big skull, from which bones spread outwards like a grisly maze. The big skull is what the Iron Jaws, I think if these overlap, call the Howling Labyrinth of Tzeentch. Legend is that the demonic conundrum enslaved thousands to build the labyrinth on top of the skull of Agarath, known to orcs as the Big Skull. Maybe you hear the squeak in the background. There's a dog playing with a squeaky toy. Hopefully you can't hear too much of the squeaks.
Of course, the Oryx would call it the Big Skull.
They just call it the Big Skull. They're not
As opposed to Little Skull.
The
yeah,
big skull.
the Big Skull. Keep it simple.
Exactly.
So
Keep it simple, stupid.
when you say Big Skull, it's a skull big enough to put a castle on the back.
Yeah.
That's how big the Big Skull is versus other skulls.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Howling Labyrinth of Tzeentch. I don't know what else is on there, but the demonic conundrum enslaved thousands to build the labyrinth on top of the Big Skull.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh my God. To go from the core book of like 2 pages of like the Realm of Beasts to this
Yeah.
incredible
God,
history.
It's fleshing it out even more.
Where did you
mean,
get that from?
This is from that Lexicanum on the
And where
wiki.
did they get that from?
They cite a lot of different sources. I don't know what all the sources are, but it's
Yeah.
the different novels and the different primers and the different short stories
And
that
the
have
different
been.
tomes and the
Yeah,
So
and
basically, anything that Ghur has mentioned,
they collected every place. Like the Ideneth book talks about Ghur. The Nagash book mentions Ghur. There's lots of different battle tomes that mention.
So why the hell did they not put that in this book?
Or just give us a little bit
I
more.
would
But
love
I mean,
that. Just keep it all together. You
Yeah,
know? So,
like
yeah.
you've got the ones before this that have like 4 pages, and then this shit. where
right?
it's
You've
like
got
2
Gairan and Akshi.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tons of history with maps and all kinds of stuff. But then you get to Ghur, which there's almost nothing in here. But this is definitely, there's a lot more to Ghur than what you see in this core
So let's
book.
not be discouraged by the 2 pages in the core book. Get out there, Google Ghur, and read Lexicanum.
Yeah, Lexicanum. The other, just do some internet searches of Ghur, and there's a lot of stuff out there. And I want to try and track down some of these novels.
Yeah.
There's an area called the Gnawing Sea. The monstrous bone that surrounds the Gnawing Sea are saturated with savage magic that attracts mighty predators and those who would bind them. So we were talking previously about how in some of these realms the outer sphere is more dangerous, and so people that want to harness that more dangerous magic and more dangerous energy, they go out to that outer realm. This is saying that the Gnawing Sea is where you go. The Gnawing Sea attracts these mighty predators, and the people that would control these mighty predators go to the Gnawing Sea.
Because we're all there. It's a meeting point. It's a crossroads, basically.
Yeah, it's like in Africa, the watering hole. That's where all the conflict happens.
Yes, exactly. It's like
Everybody's
just
got
trying to
their water.
hear, at the water cooler, and
Yeah.
somebody trying to eat you.
So trying to wrap my head around Ghur.
Yes.
It didn't really in the book give you like where it started, then the realm of chaos, then the realm of it didn't tell you where it started, then the age of chaos, then the age of Sigmar. It just kind of said, hey, this is kind of like Ghur. These are a couple of things that happened to give you some reference of Ghur. So listening to this, like to me, I wonder, how did humans, like free peoples, show up to this place?
Yeah.
Why did Duardin show up to this place? Why did elves show up to this place? What's the purpose for them to come to this place to just be, oppressed with beastly warfare the entire time?
In one of these sources, and I can't remember which source it was, I think it's the core book, they talk about hunter-gatherers, that the greatest resource in Ghur is meat.
Yeah.
That there's all these amazing beasts.
And it's a big export.
It's their main export is all these different types of meat. So what's worth its weight in gold is salt. And that the good salt to preserve the meat is so very important, because if you can't preserve the meat, it's just going to waste away. So salt and meat are the main things you need in Ghur.
That they export. But it also sounds like there's some other reasons why people might actually come. So this is what I'm putting together from hearing the stories, from seeing these high points of interesting things about Ghur, is there's a lot of things that Ghur produces that people would want.
Yeah.
The gold, right?
The turtle shit gold.
The shit gold.
The good beer.
The good beer. Mm-hmm. The meat.
Yes.
The
Salt and the realm stone. So the one thing that the book does talk about too is realm stone.
Yeah.
And I think it sets up realm stone then for like other realms as well. But it sounds like maybe that's why people started to adventure into Ghur that may have not been like natural habitants of Ghur.
Yeah.
So how did we get Sigmarites? How did we get Duardin? How did we get the KO? How did we get different things like that? Elves, dark elves, Ideneth Deepkin. How did those people show up to this realm? and start building cities. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's cities, there's encampments,
There's worm cities.
all these things. They probably were coming for this, for just the same way in which Americans moved out west.
Yeah, natural colonial expansion.
Colonial expansion, moving out west, exploring new worlds to them in the pursuit of gold, in the pursuit of land, in the pursuit of hunting, all this sort of stuff. So that just helps me kind of bring together why the motivation for people to be somewhere.
Yeah.
The motivation for a city to have been founded somewhere. Things like that,
And like with all of these, we don't have images to support that story. What we have are images of like mountains, monsters, and orcs. When people talk about Ghur, that's what's in the pictures.
And
mountains,
ogres.
monsters, and orcs.
Well, I
occasional
hear ogres,
Yeah.
which fits perfectly.
Oh, yeah,
I
they're
just
I
see
mean,
that,
Ghur is the realm associated with the destruction. The destruction faction.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, this
Totally.
is if someone's singing about destruction, they're probably from
This is it.
Ghur.
Grrr.
Yeah, but there's so much more to it. It's this huge, fascinating realm.
Yeah, I really liked some of the stuff that we read about Ghur, and I liked that just hearing about the history of how the formations came about, how the caverns were created, how the mountains were formed, how all of this stuff was created. To me, helped set that up.
And that's another thing that's not mentioned in the book. And we were talking about it before we sat down. Was the discovering of Gorka Morka by Sigmar and Dracothian.
Yes.
And it was Dracothian that woke Sigmar, and that Dracothian and Sigmar worked together to wake the other gods, and that they found Gorka Morka in the realm of beasts, and they found him in Drakatoa, which is a living avalanche of amber. So thinking, I picture like the Blob from the Blob movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a slow-moving amber that Gorka Morka is trapped in this living blob of amber, and that Dracothian and Sigmar work together to free Gorka Morka. And then Gorka Morka is pissed.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. He's the embodiment of rage. Punches out Dracothian, fights Sigmar for days, creates all these canyons and mountains in the conflict.
Yeah.
That's cool stuff. And the thought of Gorka Morka, I mean, he's described as a two-headed monster.
Yeah.
And this is different than the 8th edition version of Gork and Mork.
Yeah, they were two separate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now they're combined.
Yeah.
Right? Two aspects. I mean,
two aspects.
Two sides of the same coin.
So the monster, the Etten,
Yeah.
you guys heard of that one?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's kind of like an ogre that has two heads.
Okay.
And the heads usually have different personalities. In Monty Python and the Holy Grail, there was that one like knight with the three heads that are always arguing with each other. That sounds like Gorka Morka. This like horrible monster. Probably, maybe it's not both orc heads. Do you know what I mean? Maybe one's a goblin head, one's an orc head. Maybe one's an ogre head. Definitely one of them is orc, but they're probably both orcs.
Yeah.
Orcs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Gorka Morka.
I really liked the Lexicanum article that included the frustration of chaos in Ghur.
Yeah.
Was that amazing? Like I just picture just Archaon just like so frustrated, just like Grrr!
So what do you recall from that particular article?
I recall that Chaos, obviously they did this big push into all the different realms. They're looking to get in, take over what they can, and they're pushing into Ghur.
Oh, sure.
And
collecting skulls, trying, the whole gore hunt.
Right, and just think like you've just now entered a realm where they love to fight.
Yeah.
And so they are just probably like, thank you. I've got somebody else's head to bash in other than, my cousins.
Yeah.
And so they're now just enjoy. I mean, they're just so excited about fighting, and so the iron jaws and the bone splitters and the beast claw, they're all fighting, and they're all just laying waste to whatever comes to them. They're probably being killed. They're killing, things like that. But then the realm gate itself, where chaos keeps coming in, they create some sort of shrine, some sort of
they've got a city. I can't remember what the city was called, but it's like a chaos.
Create some walls around and different things, and they just keep getting oppressed by the iron jaws and the greenskins, and time and again, they just keep defacing whatever it is that.
It's a statue of Archaon.
Yeah. At first, it's a statue of Archaon, and they rip it down and they put up something else to basically, make fun of chaos.
Yeah. I think it said the first one that happens, they chisel away his face to make an orc face where his face should be.
Right.
And the next one, they cut off the head. Next time he comes back, he conquers again. They drive him back again. He's replaced the statue. They go back to the statue again. They cut off the head completely, and they put a wooden goblin head where his head would have been to insult him even more.
Right.
Oh, man.
And so he
These guys
forces
are
his way
asses.
back again. Yeah. So they're fighting over and over and over again to conquer this one point. But like talking about orcs and Khorne, well, this is just heaven.
Yeah.
They just fight over and over and over
Yeah.
again about over this one realm gate.
No, exactly. Yeah.
There's probably so many bodies and bones.
Heaps.
And
Stacked high.
And
New mountains form
ruins.
just because of that,
Yeah, and just the focus. Like there's zero politics involved. There's nobody cares about trade, nobody cares about, resources, nobody cares about success. All they care about is killing the opponent.
Oh, yeah.
right.
That's chaos versus destruction.
Yeah.
That is the
Love it.
epitome.
No, exactly.
The objectives on the table, they don't matter.
Nope.
Yeah. No. I want to play this sound sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to. Yeah.
And that sounds like a back and forth siege. I think that particular story ended with Archaon assigning a very malicious chaos general to guard this fortress. But there's this pressure on him, and the article ends with him just listening to the orc drums in the distance as they're getting ready to for another attack.
Ominous.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, man.
I want to be there right now.
That makes me think. They definitely describe the Chaos Dreadhold. That whole kit. It sounds like anytime Khorne's building a fort, it's going to be that.
It's going to be the
Chaos
Dreadhold.
Dreadhold. Yeah, some version of the Chaos Dreadhold.
I like that model.
Oh man, if you were going to put together the entire kit to scale, what do you think? It's like $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Not to put the price tag on everything, because how do you
Right.
put a price tag on fun?
Exactly.
Yes.
But yeah, picturing that Chaos Dreadhold with just hordes of orcs charging it over and over again and recruiting ogres with their.
I mean, I know it's kind of a popular movie, but with the middle Lord of the Rings movie,
Oh, yes.
the
Two Towers.
exactly,
yeah.
and just thinking the orcs just outside, just and
Yeah.
just like raw, and just
in sync.
thousands of orcs just in sync, ready to fight.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
Warriors.
you would probably then hear the cries from chaos on the other end.
Yeah.
But that you don't get from the elves and the humans that are trying to, stay alive. You would hear now this
opposing.
this
like-
opposing.
Do you guys?
Battle
When I
cry.
was a freshman in high school and I was on the football team because they didn't turn anyone away. That's why I was on the football team. They never turned anyone away. So I wore the uniform and rode on the bus. But man, I loved the ridiculous chants we would do and the ridiculous cheers,
sure,
and it was
yeah.
intoxicating to be a part of that. And to experience that as a teenager on a football team, picturing the same thing in an army, in a medieval fantasy army where where your gods, like these like chaos gods, these Gorka Morka, they're real and they're watching, and you better cheer as loud as you can. That's the only way you're gonna survive. And like these chants and the passion that would come out of it, like oh man, that just the thick power of that must have you could feel.
There was this old in the old Orcs and Goblins, book from 8th edition, I think would still hold true, like this story about this goblin war boss. I don't think war boss, maybe he was a big boss. Whatever it was,
war boss, yeah.
He was like promoted from this battle that he fought. Whatever he did, they're in this battle, they're fighting, and this goblin gets swallowed by a beast. Mm-hmm. And at some point he gets like they defeat the beast, and he cuts himself out, or he's cut out of it, and he's still alive. And they're like, hooray, this goblin, he got eaten and he survived. And the point of the story was the orcs, because there was always this divide between orcs and goblins. Like goblins were never as good as orcs in the orcs' eyes. But the orcs looked at this goblin, and they
saw a hero.
Celebrated him, and he was promoted to whatever rank he got from that, which was like big boss or something like that. And through the celebration that night, he was actually killed.
Love it.
And so he didn't survive the night.
Yeah,
because of the celebration.
They partied so hard he died.
That's a way to go out, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Would you rather get eaten alive, or would you rather party to death?
Well, he got both.
He got both.
Oh.
Yep, fantastic. The thought of orc culture, and like talking about popular media nailing orc culture. Nobody's done it like the Lord of the Rings, and the Return of the King, when Frodo is captured and they have the mithril shirt. And that fight that happens between what's essentially the great orcs that Saruman unearthed versus the old-fashioned orcs, which could be essentially be goblins.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. Yeah,
yeah, that battle.
The Uruk-hai?
Yeah, the Uruk-hai versus the orcs, goblins.
Yeah.
That fight, and nailed it completely, because the one guy who's the goblin, essentially, he really is, he's got the blue eyes, and he's fast, and he's cunning, and he's just evil, ready to stab people in the back. And he's the one that makes, after all this fighting, he's the one that makes it all the way to the end to catch the mithril shirt, and it's finally Sam that has to kill him. But he's the one doing like these amazing drop kicks.
Yeah.
You remember when he drop kicks that, like, this orc's twice his size, and he drop kicks that orc right out the window?
Yeah.
And that's what starts the whole big brawl, which is very similar to like what you picture in an old Western. You know, that bar brawl in an old Western. Like someone spills their drink and turns around and people start throwing fists. That's definitely that same fight scene. But man, Orcs and Goblins, that movie.
Yeah.
That's always what I'm going to picture. Maybe slightly different, because I love the old animation, that old Hobbit movie.
Oh, that was so great.
The singing one. Down to Goblin Town. That
Ralph,
movie.
Ralph Bakshi.
That was that Bakshi?
No, that was a Hobbit. Damn it.
The Lord of the Rings was
he came out with
Bakshi.
Whoever came out with the Hobbit, they also came out with the Lord of the Rings.
They did a
like a Fellowship of the Ring, or Return of the King.
Return of the King.
They did
Return of the King. That was the Hobbit one, and that was a different animation studio.
Oh, okay.
But I can't. The Ralph Bakshi did a Lord of the Rings movie that was supposed to be a trilogy back then.
Yeah.
Ralph Bakshi was just absolutely insane person.
Yeah, it was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So what was the Hobbit one?
Was that the one that was mixed animation and live action?
Yeah.
Rotoscope. Well, it's like the rotoscoping.
Yeah.
It was. Well, yeah, that's what I mean by the mix.
Which is
like
amazing, because he would use
awesome.
World War II footage of like Nazis and stuff as like the orcs, and he would like paint over the Nazis to be orcs.
Yeah.
Ralph Bakshi is just a genius. He was such a genius. But
yeah, I remember, loving that Hobbit movie.
Yeah.
The
were you
animated
looking, I'm
Hobbit.
sorry, were you looking it up, Mark?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what was it? What is it?
It wasn't Bakshi.
No, it wasn't
It was
Bakshi.
so The Hobbit, 1977.
Yeah.
Yep.
Directed by Arthur Rankin Jr.
Rankin.
And Jules Bass.
Rankin and Bass. That was the
yeah,
production
yeah.
company. Rankin
Rankin
and
and
Bass.
Bass.
So that's the
Yep.
Rankin and Bass Hobbit.
Yeah.
That's it. So that was so epic.
It was
loved
so
that.
epic.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. And I remember looking for, because it had the music and the sing-alongs and whatever.
Yeah.
And then I remember
It was
looking,
musical, basically.
Oh yeah.
seeing like, oh, they have the Return of the King, and then thinking like, oh, but then I saw, there was this other animated one, which was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And I got them both. And Return of the King, of course, was another Rankin and Bass,
Yeah.
stories
Continuation.
and great and same kind of stuff. But then the other one, the Lord of the Rings one, was like you're saying, just a little like, oh, this is different.
Yeah. And then Ralph Bakshi teamed up with Mark's hero, the artist. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Frank Frazetta.
Frank
Right
Frazetta.
here.
And they did a movie called Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice is another rotoscope one.
Yeah.
And I'm glad this does circle back to what we're talking about, because Fire and Ice is definitely a movie that takes place completely in Ghur, the realm of beasts.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Oh, absolutely. I got like the promo pictures right here.
Yeah.
It's like classic Frazetta.
Yeah. so
just
Frazetta.
Oh yeah. God, I love it.
Fire and Ice is, script wise, there's not a lot there, but they'll go 5-10 minutes without any dialogue in this movie.
It was great.
It's so
You didn't need
fantastic
it.
because it's so primal. There's this group of people that maybe they're kind of like orcs, but they're more like Neanderthals. And they're the bad guys. The evil ice wizard controls the Neanderthals, and the good fire person is this like civilized person whose daughter gets kidnapped by the ice person, and it becomes this whole war. And they're, oh man, it's so visceral. And if you like slow motion boobs bouncing, this is definitely the film for you, because the heroine is only ever wears bikinis made out of silk, or
Oh yeah, no, totally.
that's all she wears the entire movie.
Nice.
But Realm of Beasts, there's pterodactyls and these Neanderthals and giant snakes, and Ralph Bakshi, and together with Frank Frazetta.
Frank Frazetta, just
This
amazing artist.
before we even got into this conversation about orcs and everything, that is one of the movies I would have cited as like, this is what I imagine the Realm of Beasts looks like.
Yeah.
There's a scene in there where the heroine, she's trying to escape, and she dives into this lagoon, and there's some kind of octopus creature at the bottom of the lagoon that just that's trying to eat her. So she's trying to escape the Neanderthals. Then there's the octopus creature, and she has to either get eaten by the octopus creature or get help from the Neanderthals. It's just one of those movies that's pointless. It's an absolutely pointless film, but it is so unique to see, so unique to look at this filmmaking art style where these two completely unique artists came together and teamed up to make this movie.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I picture as maybe some of the people that were originally in Ghur, maybe the people that were there, like free peoples,
Nomadic
if you wanna call them
tribes.
that. Like more just the hunter-gatherers, the nomadic tribes. They were these people that were clad in beast skins and working off of hand forged weapons. And
and that it seems very natural that we went from talking about the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings to the Rankin and Bass, and then into Ralph Bakshi, and then finally back to Fire and Ice, the Ralph Bakshi.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
Frank Frazetta team up. Anybody who's listening to this, you might not recognize the name Frank Frazetta. You have seen Frank Frazetta art, and there are very few things, chaos, that aren't influenced by the art of Frank Frazetta.
Yeah, no,
In particular,
exactly.
the Death Dealer.
Death Dealer.
Yeah.
The the biggest. I mean, the most iconic figure. You'll probably see that on a lot of like 1980s vans. Airbrushed on the side.
Yeah.
Oh god, I want one of those so bad.
Archaon.
The van?
The van. The van with the artwork on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Both.
Oh hell yeah.
The character Archaon, who's the main Chaos bad guy, he would not look the way he did if it weren't for Frank Frazetta and the Death Dealer.
No, exactly.
That influence is obvious to be seen.
I think so. I mean,
The actual
all the
realm.
major points, because it's hard to like pinpoint any exact details because everything is always changing.
Yeah.
And I know there are these, outposts. There's these, certain cities, with their certain defenses. I know it mentioned, some with the, sharpened stakes that are just, outwardly lying around there. So basically, it was like, we're not building stone walls because the beast would beat them down. No, we're building walls with these sharpened stakes because it's their own trajectory into and attacking us.
Yeah,
that would be their downfall. And
you
that's
can't
one of
just
those
build
things.
a static wall. It has to be an offensive tactic.
And I know there's one too. I think there's one city where it's just like
Iceland.
this. Is that the one where that has the flame around it?
It's called the White City.
Flame.
It's a port city surrounded by and guarded by a magical wall of fire.
Yeah, I could just see that to keep all the beasts out.
Yeah.
So.
Another one that I really like is the Jaws. It's an ancient realm gate. This ancient realm gate is simply a jawbone of some long-dead monstrosity thrust into the earth and split open by the axe of Gorka Morka to give his Oryx a road to conquer new lands in the realm of Shaiish, which is the realm of death.
Yeah.
Yet this had given little sport, and so the god had sealed it again in disgust. Like they went to the realm of death, there wasn't enough sport, there wasn't enough fighting or competition that was worth their time. So like, forget it, we're just shutting this gate.
Sucks. That's it.
Yeah,
closing it down.
But I could see that as some cool narrative campaign for somebody trying to get into Shaiish.
Yeah.
Reopening that realm gate. And trying to get
that'd be
to
a fun
Shaiish.
campaign too. Yeah.
For some reason. I don't know why.
No, that
Who
sounds
knows?
good.
They
and
need
then all your damn skeletons come pouring through.
Of course.
The more I read, the more there is to be excited about in the Age of Sigmar.
Yeah. One thing to compare the realms in general, I feel like, is I've been playing a lot of Minecraft with my 6-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And
master strategist that she is.
Oh yeah, and she just wants to take everything on right away. So always she's like, let's build a portal. Let's go into the Nether, and let's and then it's like, oh okay, here we go. And what I've found out is when you're in Minecraft and you're in your area, you create this portal, this realm gate into the Nether. You travel into this place, then you're in one place there. If you're then in the Nether, let's say, and you build a realm gate just a block over, you jump back to your world, but you're nowhere near where you were. You're not just a block over. It's not this 1-for-1, okay, now you move down a block and now it's like 1-for-1, right? It's like you don't know where you're going to end up. And I wonder if that's kind of like in the realm gates here, that might be why you would travel somewhere else to use a realm gate, would be because you know exactly where that realm gate's going to take you. And it might be a whole world of travel to get from, where if you were in one realm, let's say you're in the realm of Chaman, and you're like, hey, I need to get from, like you travel into Shaiish and you're here and you're like, whoa, I need to actually be on the other side of this realm. It would take me longer to travel from here to the other side of that realm than it would be for me to go back through the realm gate and then go to the Realm Gate to Ghur, and then go from the Realm Gate and Ghur to Shyish to get close. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I know I'm kind of like, rabbit
No,
trailing
that
here,
military strategy. Do you ever see Lawrence of Arabia?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that the whole point of that movie was him getting allies so they could cross the desert and get a better strategic position to go through this impassable desert to a place that someone thought there's no way they could be attacked in that direction, and that's what they did.
That's a weakness that he sought that
found
out.
a weakness,
Yeah.
but through an impossible channel to create that weakness.
Yeah.
Just like you're talking about, going through this impassable gate, they find a way to open the gate, and now there's an attack coming from an unexpected, impossible direction.
Yeah. So I could totally see that showing up in Ghur at the Free People's City in Ghur, where that's built around the Realm Gate that they enter into, and now they have to make it to this other Realm Gate that's closed, but they need to open because they need to get to Shyish.
And it's in dangerous territory.
Yeah,
you gotta fight your way through all the
you gotta
orcs
get over there.
and the ogres, and
Yeah.
to get in there, and then find your way to the realm of death.
Yeah. So maybe we should take a little break.
Agreed.
And then we should come back and talk about maybe some of the beasts you might find.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Well,
what
I
we
think
hope.
that ties into the realm of battle rules and the
let's do that.
beasts you would summon.
Exactly.
So, yes, all right. Quick
Sounds
break,
good. Yes.
and then realm
right.
of battle rules.
Yes.
Sigmar found Gorka Morka trapped within the ember mass of Drakatoa in the realm of beasts. With the help of Dracothian, Sigmar managed to free the green-skinned god and drive back Drakatoa. Pleased to be freed and infuriated for requiring aid, he attacked Dracothian, knocking him senseless in a single blow. Sigmar was moved to ire and attacked the two-headed god. The sheer destructive power of this 12-day battle shook the mortal realms and created the mountains of Miraz and the gouged canyons. Eventually, the two gods grew tired, observed their ruined surroundings, and laughed. Seeing a god that could match his own battle lust, he clasped Sigmar's hand and agreed to fight alongside him.
What's this latest beer was just poured for us, Mark?
Oh, this was the Sweetwater, the G13 420 strain.
Oh, so this is Sweetwater as well, out of Atlanta.
Yep.
Nice. I didn't even recognize the label.
Yeah, no, it's totally, it's kind of like a dark horse type labeling that they're doing. It's very under the radar, and no, I'm trying to get them all, buy them all the six packs off the shelf.
Yeah, most of the time the Sweetwater stuff you see is very bright and colorful, lots of blues and
no,
greens.
not this one.
This one,
It's,
no.
Yeah.
Looks a lot more like those Rogue Dead Guy
Yeah, no,
labels.
exactly.
So here we are. We are back. We're going to talk about the realm of battle rules for Ghur. The realm of beasts. So the first thing, the realm sphere of magic. Wizards know the following spell in battles fought in this realm, in addition to any other spells that they know. Anybody want to read this one?
Go for it.
The wild form.
Yes.
The wizard transforms their allies into swift-moving bestial forms. Wild form has a casting value of 5. If successfully cast, pick a friendly unit within 12 inches of the caster that is visible to them. Add 2 to charge and run rolls made for the unit you picked until your next hero phase.
Yeah, if you've got a close combat army, I love it.
Yeah, no, I like that. Anything that helps with movement, try to get you in.
I know with
Especially
Khorne,
heavy hitters.
Khorne and the Daughters of Cain, both.
yeah.
We want to get in there.
Oh,
and I
yeah,
guess that
totally.
you would probably want that too with your Arcanauts.
Yeah, why not? If I got the option.
Yeah, add 2 to run and charge.
Yeah, those engine riggers. I'm
Oh,
gonna get
that's
those
great. Especially
chainsaws
if you
in
get,
there
like,
for sure.
You know, boost it with other, abilities that you have to be able to do that, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, I most of the time with the Daughters of Cain, the one of the rules that I always choose for them is the one that everybody in that war scroll gets +1 to their run and charge. With this, if this spell goes off, I've got +3 to my run, +3 to my charge, and the witch elves can run and charge.
That's big right there. So they're right there. What?
Yeah, if this spell goes off, just to have those extra 4 inches of movement,
that's awesome.
You get all the way across the table in one turn
Yep.
if you can make this spell happen.
Yeah, I think what this lends back to is the Realm Stone explanation that they have in the in the explanation of the actual realm itself. Mm-hmm. So they talk about the Realm Stone being these fossils that they essentially find inside the rocks of bones and things.
Yeah, it says like amber.
Yeah, and when you harvest these, it gives you the ability to basically do more.
Yeah,
and
channel the energy.
Yeah, so once you learn how to, once you become attuned to these, to the realm stones, then you can unleash the beast inside you, essentially, and then I think that's what this is about.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like the wizard attuning to that and then casting that inside another unit and then unleashing the beast.
Have you seen Role Models, the movie? It's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott and Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
Which one?
Role Models?
Oh yeah, yes.
you know Role
Oh yeah,
Models.
no, I know role models.
The two characters, the reason that reminds me of it is the two characters at the beginning of the film, they work for a company that's essentially Red Bull, but it's called Minotaur, and their slogan is "Unleash the Beast."
Yeah,
Just like
that's
that.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
so
drink
awesome.
these bright green energy drinks, and early in the film they've been drinking these things all day, and they go to use the urinal, and what's coming out of them, it looks like ecto cooler, like that green
it's
ecto cooler.
like glow in the dark. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
man, this looks like Shrek's piss.
Yeah.
But yeah, unleash the beast.
love it.
Yeah. The next rule, monstrous beasts. Mark, you want to share that one?
Yeah, we could do that. Monstrous beast. So after setup, each player can set up a monster that is not a hero, starting with the player that finished setting up their army first. These monsters are called monstrous beasts in the rules that follow. They are not part of either army. A monstrous beast can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches from any other monstrous beasts and more than 9 inches from models from either army.
Yep.
And
Go for it.
all right, continuing on, monstrous beasts choose their prey at the start of each battle round. Their prey for that battle round will be the army that has a unit closest to them. For the rest of the battle round, the monstrous beast joins the opposing army. If both armies have a unit equally close to a monstrous beast, roll off to determine who picks the monstrous beast's prey. Monstrous beasts will not pick each other as their prey. And note that a monstrous beast's prey can change each battle round, and monstrous beasts will swap sides depending on which army has the closest unit. Also note that a monstrous beast can attack any unit in their prey's army, not just the closest unit, and cannot itself be attacked or charged by units from the army it has joined. Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit
Wow.
complicated for what it is.
Yeah.
And this is why tournaments will rarely use the realm of beasts as a realm for games, because this is a complicated rule, and you are expected to bring your own extra monster to the table outside of what you've normally built as an army.
Right.
So for a tournament like we played Crucible, where each game took place in a different realm, that would mean for one of the 5 games, we would be expected to bring one extra completely painted and prepared monster, which is a lot to expect of people for a tournament.
Yeah. And who knows, like, the range of points that would add.
Yeah, and
How that
the
would
complication.
shake things up. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the monsters are 200 points, some of them are 500 points.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. And there's a strategy to that, too. If you were going to do it in a tournament, like, there's a reason they say here, also note, Monstrous Beasts can attack units, but cannot itself be attacked or charged by the army they're part of for that realm. Because I could see... I'm sure at some point someone said, okay, I know next turn I'm going to be in the range of the charge attack, but he's on my side right now. I'm just going to kill it when it doesn't have a chance to attack me. That's why they had to put that rule in there. You cannot get rid of this thing on your turn. You have to wait until you're the opponent and then determine now this unit's on your... a new unit's been added to your enemy's army, and even if it's a unit you brought to the table.
Yeah.
Do you bring something super powerful? Do you bring something, you can deal with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The danger is there. I mean, it's really just that unknown element.
Yeah.
Too many variables.
Yeah.
I know if I'm playing my orcs and goblins, I would bring the nastiest, biggest beast ever. I don't care if it attacks
Yeah,
me.
because what's the point? If you're in the realm of beasts and you don't bring the biggest thing, baddest thing
exactly.
you can, come on, you're not even here. Why are you even playing Age of Sigmar? If you're not bringing the biggest, baddest, nasty you can every single time, you're playing the wrong game.
Yep.
Age of Sigmar, big nasty monsters.
Get out.
Get out. So let's go into the Realmscape features, and then we'll double back talking about the different types of monsters.
All right.
So the Realmscape features, you roll the d6 and determine what the Realmscape feature is going to be. The one on all these Realmscape features is going to be the features. There is no feature.
Nothing.
The Realmscape feature has no effect on the battlefield. That first one, Savage Hinterlands. It seems the lands of this region pose no threat at the moment.
That's a rarity.
It is. It is. No threat in the realm of beasts.
At the moment.
I'll go ahead and do the next one. If you roll a 2, it's Hungering Animus. Even the landscapes are possessed of a predatory instinct, using avalanches or ground quakes to kill their prey. At the start of your hero phase, roll a dice. On a 6 up, pick a point anywhere on the battlefield. Roll a dice for each unit within 6 inches of that point. On a 4 up, the unit being rolled for suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 6 up, suffers D3 mortal wounds. This is very similar to what you see in other realms, where, if you each player in their hero phase can just take a chance, roll a dice, and see if they can cause some damage that the land itself is attacking the people within it.
Yeah.
Who wants to do the next one, number 3?
I will. Primal Violence. Here, every creature is red in tooth and claw, and both predator and prey. At the end of each combat phase, roll a dice. On a 6+, carry out the combat phase again before moving on to the battle shock phase. Do not roll again at the end of the second combat phase to see if a third combat phase takes place.
Ooh, I like this.
This could be messy.
Oh man, this just shortens the game. It makes the game much shorter.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Oh yeah. You get
Carnage.
30 witch elves in there. It's going to be a short game.
And this is this is for Khorne,
Yeah.
the Blood Tithe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, this is so great for the Blood Tithe. Even if you're the one being wiped out in that second round of combat, there's just Blood Tithe points coming up.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good with it.
Yeah.
Or death. Hey,
Or death.
Right? No,
take an extra thing and take an extra combat phase and finish off my skeletons.
And now I get
because I would
40
like to bring them
skeletons.
back next round.
Yeah, full strength, 40 skeletons. That's cool. Mark, you want to do the next one?
Yeah, let's do that. Number 4, Reckless Aggression. A philosophy of eat or be eaten is needed to survive amidst the wilderness. So any unit that is within 12 inches of an enemy unit at the start of their charge phase suffers 1 mortal wound unless they finish their charge phase within 3 inches of an enemy model. In addition, you can re-roll hit rolls of 1 for units that have made a charge move in the same turn.
That's
I like it.
oh yeah.
That's
Get
fine.
in and fight.
Yeah, that's in, yeah.
And if you to get that you can re-roll hit rolls of 1
Oh, yeah.
if you charge that turn.
that's great.
And that's every turn.
That's so cool.
Yeah. There were some 8th edition rules that were kind of similar to that. Didn't the Orcs have something like that? Or maybe the Chaos did? What was that old rule? Not Fury. Wasn't there a rule where you had to... Frenzy.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
Yeah,
right.
it
You
reminds
had
me
to
of
charge.
Frenzy.
You had to charge if you were within charge range.
Yes, correct. Yep.
That reminds me
Unless
of
you
Frenzy.
passed a leadership test.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was a very corn right there because they were
Yeah.
like, I'm going to charge. I got to get
Yeah.
in there.
I'm good. Yeah, no matter if I can see an opponent, I'm attacking that opponent,
Yep.
whether it's strategically viable or not. If I can see them, I'm going to attack them. And this is definitely you're committed to that reckless aggression. If
Yeah.
you don't charge, you're suffering a wound. I like that one a lot.
Wow.
I'll do the next one, which is number 5, Beasts of Ghur. This is Ghur. This is a realm of predators, an endless hunting ground where the strong survive and the weak are consumed. Roll off. The winner can set up an additional monstrous beast using the monstrous beast rules on the left. So if you roll 5, now there are 3 random monsters on the table.
Holy hell. This place is...
Ouch. And then what is number 6?
Territory of beasts. Great migratory trails crisis cross the lands.
Or Crisis?
Oh, crisscross. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's
It
probably
is a crisis,
going
though.
to be a
Yeah,
crisis.
no, it's going to be a
Maybe-
crisis for your army.
Yes.
Yeah.
My subconscious was telling me crisis.
We're right there with you.
All right. So great migratory trails crisscross the lands, made by groups of hunting behemoths. Both players can set up an additional monstrous beast using the monstrous beast rules on the left.
Yeah. So if you roll 5, 3 monsters. You roll 4, or you roll 6, 4 monsters on the table.
Holy hell.
Potentially, I don't know what the most expensive monster is. Probably around 500 points. So you could potentially have an extra 2,000 points on the table if you roll a 6.
That is nutty.
Yeah.
That is so
That's
nutty.
crazy.
I could see it.
Just harassing.
Just going, toe to toe, and then all of a sudden, oh no, we got all this to contend with.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, all these other factors.
If one of these monsters ends up wandering over a point you need to control,
Like an objective that you need to try
you need
and take
control,
over?
yeah.
Oh, shit, you're not getting it. No.
Or you take the chance of having to fight this crazy monster.
And there's some nasty monsters out there.
There's a lot of nasty monsters.
And we should definitely spend some time talking about those. But this right here is why most tournaments will not include this. At least they shouldn't without giving you a warning.
Yeah.
They should do it and not care. Honestly, just throw you in there. I mean, that's what a tournament's about.
I would have been
Screw it.
frustrated
Yeah.
because if I went to Crucible or one of these other local tournaments and I didn't know that this was going to be a factor and I didn't bring an extra monster, but my opponent brought 2 extra monsters and set them up in important places, that immediately gives them board control and a chance to take advantage. And the monsters you pick too, what are the base sizes? What do they do? Do they have shooting attacks? Are you vulnerable to their shooting attacks? Are you better off? Can you defend yourself from their attacks? Picking and choosing the right monsters in a tournament. If we're playing not in a tournament and we just want to see some crazy realm of beasts,
Right.
chaos, man, that's so much fun.
Yeah.
See, I'd rather just see the house bring the monsters in. You're not responsible for it. You know what? You're playing in this. This is the rules. We're gonna bring that random factor of the monsters in.
That's cool too.
And whatever.
Maybe it's like whoever's currently at the lowest point level of the tournament gets to pick their monster first.
I could see that, like
You're
fighting
hey,
uphill.
John or Nicholas, it would probably be me. Hey, Nicholas, come choose the monster first because you're losing.
Yeah, there's like a table of monsters up front, and you go and pick it in the war
and then
scroll.
I'm gonna go pick the
this
biggest,
little guy.
baddest motherfucker out there, and I'm gonna drop him down, and good luck.
All right, so this seems like the point where we talk about monsters.
All right.
All right, what monsters did you guys like? Oh, let's first talk about anything. Let's talk. What monsters do you like?
Right.
Thematically, what models do you like? What stats do you like?
Oh my god. Got onto the Forge World website and just brought up the filter of monsters.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many
Oh,
there were.
man.
And how nasty they are.
Yes.
You know, I'm thinking I would love a lot of these on my side. Not so much. I would not want these against me.
Nope.
But that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know,
you put it out there, it's crushing your
Hell.
opponent, but now it's somehow gotten too close to an objective, and you're going to have to face this thing you put on the table yourself.
Oh, man.
Yep. I like this dead maw. So it just I'm currently almost done reading Dune.
Yeah.
I've not read Dune
yeah.
before. I'm almost done. I'm like the last. I'm on the end here. I'm the last stretch.
Very
here.
nice.
So seeing the list of beasts and seeing the dead maul, I'm like, all right, I'd love to put some destruction on the table in the form of some worm that comes up out of the ground. So seeing that was really cool.
And there's a very similar Reaper model.
Yes.
And I know Mark.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, based on those Kickstarter Reapers that we did, one of us has that. Not me.
Yep.
So it's one of you two.
And Mark has it, yeah.
And
Yes.
it's Mark.
No, I got that. Yeah.
So-
it's awesome.
I
Love
think
it.
you need to
It's gorgeous.
plan on putting the dead maul.
We need to. Yep.
I can't
The
wait.
dread maul, sorry. Not
Dread
dread
maul.
I
Dread
cannot
the
wait
dead
to
maul.
play a couple games in the Realm of Beasts just to have these these monsters on the table that I haven't.
That's so fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else jumps out at you?
Me or us in general?
Any of us.
I like the colossal squig. It is
man.
so just. I'm looking at this thing and I started reading the stats on it. And I'm like, this is so much fun.
Do you remember the movie Critters?
Yes,
From
I
the
do.
early
and
80s,
that's what it
yeah.
reminds me of. It's so
Yes.
awesome, just so ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that's just the squig is such a big part of the orc lore.
Yeah.
You have some squigs, don't you, Nicholas?
No.
No, no squigs.
What?
Nope.
But they're so unique, and they're so
They are.
unique to Warhammer.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of anything other than like talking about that 80s horror movie Critters. I can't think of any other game that features something like the squig. Just this ball of just feral killing machine. This little-
Uncontrollable.
uncontrollable. It just wants to eat. It also reminds me of in Labyrinth. Remember those guys had those like little monsters on sticks? When they're fighting Ludo, and they've got those little little mouth things on sticks they're like attacking him with because they like nibble on them and they end up fighting each other with this reminds me of the squigs. Just brainless mouths constantly biting with teeth, the squigs.
Oh, yeah.
So seeing that monster squig out there, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And of course there's the giant.
Yeah. I think they said the Gargant, the Ale Guzzler Gargant matches because I think it has the monster keyword.
Yes.
But then you have the Bone Grinder Gargant,
Yes.
which is the
Even
bigger.
bigger. Well,
Even
what's
bigger.
the Chaos Gargant? Where does that factor in?
Oh yes.
I'm not familiar with that one either. I know it exists. I don't know how these three Gargants
that's just
compare
kind of a
to each
random
other.
One. It's
I don't have that on here.
why not?
What's that? It's
Come
not
on, you get
filtered.
this.
That's not on the top there?
Yeah, you got that.
There we go.
There are Gargants to choose from.
Oh yeah.
The Tomb Kings, didn't they have a giant skeleton? It's not a thing anymore.
Okay.
Yep, monster. So the Chaos Gargant is a monster.
I have one of the Reaper dragons that I painted, and it was there's a series, the Reaper models. For those that aren't familiar with the line, check them out. I love the Reaper line of models, particularly if you're a D&D player or any RPG player. If you want a very specific type of model, you can go to their site and search. I want a female spellcaster with a staff, you can search those key terms and you'll find a list of models that fit those descriptions. They have a series they've been recreating called Dragons Don't Share. I ended up getting the second Dragons Don't Share set, and it's this big dragon with wings, and I've painted him red, and I've made it to be replace the Forge World Carmine Dragon, which I believe is something like a 480 point war scroll, the Carmine Dragon. And I looked it up. I didn't know that Carmine was another type of red. I don't know how I didn't know Carmine was a type of red. I read it, when I first read it, I read it as Carmine Dragon. And I was thinking it was like a dragon from New Jersey. Like, hey, Carmine.
Hey.
So yeah, the Carmine Dragon sounds like a great option. It's definitely one of the ones I would bring. I would also really like to bring the War Hydra or the Charybdis.
Oh yeah, no, those are awesome.
I love those from the Dark Elf line. They, flavor-wise, I don't feel like they fully fit because they have keepers. Do you know what I mean? So the kit comes with the 2 Dark Elves that are whipping them into shape. And so that's on the War Scroll as well as on the model. So as much as I love those models, just that reason makes me think they don't fit into Ghur. What about you, Mark?
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I could see that, where you come from there.
Yeah. What about monsters that you would want to bring?
Oh, that I would want to bring?
Yeah.
I was looking at this Forge World Magma Dragon. I didn't know this existed before, but I started looking at the stats, and this thing is just brutal. Brutal. I wouldn't want to fight against it, but man, would I love it in my court,
Well,
and
yeah.
What
about it do you like?
Holy hell! I just love the damage potential. I mean,
Yeah.
the
magma.
The mortal wound damage potential.
Oh yeah, it's not honestly the the most outspoken model that they have out there.
I don't like the model.
It's a little. I don't know. It's
Not to be too judgmental. But
No. I agree. I don't like the model. There's not a lot of
for something called the Magma Dragon
dynamic,
and the stats.
It's a little. I want to say like just kind of like doughy to me. It's just kind of there.
Yes.
It's but the stats. It kicks ass.
Yeah, I could totally see taking a model from another manufacturer.
Yes.
And totally proxying it as the Magma Dragon.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're right, because it is very.
I don't-
It's a vanilla dragon.
I like the model, but when you talk about the stats and the Magma Dragon, it does not fit.
No,
it's not.
no,
it's
exactly.
not
Correct.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
this is a massive model in this. It's 20 wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 20 wounds.
Man,
Yeah.
It has fire breathing capabilities for missile attacks. It has, all these things. It's like this thing needs to be like,
epic.
yeah. When I look at a demon, right, and I was to think a demon that's going
Like a demon
to
prince.
a demon prince that's going to put out fire damage. I wouldn't think of the demon prince that they have as a model. I would think like the Balrog.
Yeah,
That
man, I love that
embodies now.
model.
All of a sudden, that embodies the demon prince.
Absolutely.
When I look at the Magma Dragon, I don't see that
No,
level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do absolutely know what you mean. And that's not to be critical of these amazing artists, and that's a fantastic model. It just doesn't match the War Scroll. That model does not match the War Scroll.
No, I was gonna say it doesn't
Yeah.
match the aesthetic that I would think.
And I think I would enjoy having that model. I would enjoy painting that model.
Oh, definitely.
I wouldn't want to put it on the table and think this is my ferocious Magma Dragon.
Yeah.
It does not fit the aesthetic of
No,
the rest
exactly.
of Age of Sigmar.
Because it looks like it needs cuddles.
It does need cuddles.
Yeah.
It's a sweet cuddle dragon. It looks a little turtle-ish.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking, if I played my Greenskins
Yes.
army, if I had a rogue idol, then I could also get another one. And then if we played in the realm of beasts, I could then drop another rogue idol on the table.
Yeah.
and then I'd have 2 rogue idols.
So long as it's that's interesting. It doesn't say anything either way. It says when the model is closer to your enemy, it is part of. So what does that mean for the rules? If there are rules that help your army on that war scroll, do you know what I mean? If it was something that
you're kind of just like leaving yourself open for, all the buffs or whatever comes across with it. So
Yeah, I don't think there's anything on. Well, there is something on there that says add 1 to the bravery characteristic of friendly Oryx.
Yeah.
And friendly Grot units.
that's the kind of thing I'm
wholly
talking.
within 18 inches.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you can, that's a buff that you get. So if you're going to play in a competitive game, and you can find monsters that can contribute to your army one way or the other.
They might be more valuable than just the biggest stat that you can put on the table.
Yeah. The on the flip side, the Daughters of Cain have the Mind Razor spell. The Mind Razor spell says that they can they're more effective when they have the higher leadership score. So if you can put monsters on the table that lower your enemy's leadership score, definitely works in your favor.
That's
So
great,
find
yeah.
some monsters that lower the enemy's leadership.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a I'm trying to think of the name.
Maybe a death one.
Death.
The Terrorgeist.
A Terrorgeist. Yep.
Yep.
I don't know if the Morgul. I think the Morgul does.
Okay.
And that's an exclusively Forge World one.
What if the Chimera?
I don't know if the Chimera. When at Crucible, the last guy I played had a Chimera in his army. The attack from the Chimera was terrifying. I definitely did everything I could to get that Chimera off the table immediately because of the ranged attack that it did.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
But I could see some fun opportunities, of course, because it's orcs, right? Oryx.
Yeah.
Right? It's you got to have something crazy and fun
Yeah.
in there. Is like if I had a rogue idol on the table and then dropping a rogue idol on the table and then somehow throughout the game
End up fighting the rogue
they
idol.
end up fighting each
Right.
other.
That's amazing.
I could definitely, that
You
would
know?
be fun to just do that. If I wanted to make that happen, I would paint one rogue idol blue and the other one red, and then when they finally fought, it would look like Rock'em Sock'em robots.
And build that sort of like, mechanics into it where they're just like
Yep. You were talking about, Mark,
Yes.
the Chaos Beasts that were available.
Oh yeah.
Which ones are those?
Well, the ones I was looking for were the Hellbrute and the Muthalex Vortex Beast.
Mutalith. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. But
They're an option.
they are an option in there.
Yeah.
I would like to see those in there.
Yeah,
I
those.
haven't seen those enough on the table,
No.
at any sort of convention, any sort of, gaming.
You know who I miss
yeah.
is Lord Tremendous and his YouTube channel when Age of Sigmar made the switch from
he torched
edition.
it, didn't
Yeah.
he?
he rage quit. He was and his
That's a shame.
main I don't know how close they were, but he was one of the ones that rage quit, and I guess a friend of his had a beautiful Dark Elf army that Dark Elf army that was a collection I envied because I was building towards it, and a man of minor means, it took me a long time to collect this whole Dark Elf army. And this other guy already had everything I wanted, paid for, assembled, not painted, but paid for and assembled. And he saw Age of Sigmar come out, and he took his army out in the field, and he doused it with lighter fluid and burned it all to the ground, and then recorded it. And you can see it on YouTube. You can see this guy burning his Dark Elf army to the ground. And just, if you're going to do that for me, if I were to say, I'm mad at Games Workshop, I'm going to take this $100 bill and burn it because I'm mad at Games Workshop.
Yeah.
What is the difference?
Yeah.
I mean, symbolically, maybe, but just literally just burned money.
Oh yeah.
Give it to charity. Give it to Give Kids the World and let them sell it. Do you know what I mean?
I guess that's a form of protest.
I get it.
But
It's like those people burning their Nikes.
yeah, but
What is it? Who's it hurting? It just makes you look stupid.
yeah, because there's so many other games that you can use these models for.
Yeah, or just give them to someone, or trade them, or sell
There
them.
you go. You can always put them to use like that.
Yeah.
So
If you want to do the same thing, you know, make a big deal, make a video, a protest video, but don't waste money for no reason. Just because you just remove that money from our economy. It might even be a small amount, you know, it's $200, whatever, but $300. I'm sure that looked more like a $400 army, but anyway,
Yeah.
you just remove those $400 from our economy. That could have fed some people. Do you know what I mean?
messed up.
Yeah. Or give it away to someone who can't afford it. You find someone at your
Pass it
local
on.
gaming club.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I've noticed in the app that you can actually pull up monsters that you may have not noticed
Yes.
that were without the hero. So
Yeah. So Forge World and Games Workshop, both you can do that.
well, yeah, and when I would bring up the lists to do a goblin army, for example, I didn't have the option to just choose an Arachnarok spider. I
By
always
itself.
had right. But now that I look into the war scrolls, I see that there is a separate war scroll
Just
in
for
the
an
app
Arachnarok by itself.
for just an Arachnarok, even though it has the same image with the hero on top and the goblins. I would say that's okay because there's a separate war scroll, and that's the rule in the book: is choose a monster from Age of Sigmar. There's a war scroll for it in the app.
Yeah.
I can now go choose, even though my model has a hero on it, I'm not going to play that hero's
Right.
stats, but I can still put my Arachnarok out there.
So long as the war scroll doesn't have the hero keyword.
Yeah.
That just sounds like, man, this like every once in a while, let's go to Ghur,
Yeah.
bring some monsters out, and just have some fun.
Yep.
I like that.
That sounds like a fun.
I'm ready. I got my Arachnarok spider.
Let's do it
You
right
got your
now. Let's do it.
Arachnarok.
Come on.
I've got.
And you need to. Mark needs to paint his Dreadmaw.
Yeah, man. Get that
Yes,
Dreadmaw
I
out
do.
here.
I need to bring that on the table. That's
I've
gonna
got a
look
couple of
great.
giants from Reaper I haven't painted yet. That skeletal giant. I'll just like
toss
play
it
it.
in.
Yeah,
Perfect.
just play him in. Just play him as a regular giant,
drop
even
him
though
in.
he's skeletal and like, yeah. There's a lot of. It sounds like a lot of fun
Yeah,
to do these
it
rules,
is.
but I definitely understand why people keep them out of the tournament.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, so this feels like a good break point. Why don't we pause, take another break, and then we'll talk about the Realm of Beasts, magic, and artifacts from the Line Portents book.
Okay.
All right, break time.
Do it.
The wild amber magic of Ghur was driven to new heights of ferocity by the Necroquake's waves. Without knowing or questioning how, bestial shamans unleashed the primal energies of the realm of beasts in ways they never had before, while learned wizards marveled at the things they could now achieve.
Here we go.
Hey!
Hey, artifacts of the Realm of
Exactly.
Beasts. Cheers.
Cheers. Yep.
Realm of Beast artifacts.
Artifacts. Back from our break, we're gonna talk about artifacts. You know what? And magic. Why don't we do magic? You guys want to do artifacts first or magic first? I don't care.
What do you want? Call it.
We're already on
up
artifacts.
to you.
Let's talk artifacts.
Let's do it.
Who wants to go first? Stonehorn Blade. Mark wants to go first.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. Oh, wait. Storm. What? What are you talking about? Oh, there we go. All right. Artifacts of power. All right. Excellent. The Stonehorn Blade. Carved from the horns of a mythical beast, this blade strikes with the force of an avalanche. Ooh, I like that. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons to be a Stonehorn Blade. Roll a dice at the end of any phase in which any wounds were inflicted by that weapon. On a 5-up, you can pick an enemy unit within 3 inches of the bearer. That unit suffers D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, it's interesting. So you can attack a unit
Yeah.
and pick that same unit to get these D3,
Right.
or pick another unit nearby.
Yeah, so you have that
To get the
option
D3,
at
yeah.
least. Yeah. All right.
I hate
That's
the
interesting.
options where it comes down to a 5-up or a 6-up to then get off some sort of D3.
It's these
Yeah,
different
no,
layers of success. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's very subjective. You know, where you're like, I'm taking a chance. I'm
Yeah.
just like totally, and you know what? It may not happen at all.
Like, I'm going to
I
take
would roll
this
once.
artifact. Right. I'm going
Yeah.
to take this artifact.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll ones
Yeah.
and miss out on the opportunity of an
Exactly.
artifact from something
It's
else.
not a sure
That-
shot at all.
And it's that once or maybe twice per game,
Yeah.
you'll even have the opportunity to make this roll. Usually, to keep things simple, when I look at artifacts, I go straight for the artifacts that are just a basic thing. So
Yeah,
Doppelganger
no, exactly.
Cloak
Yeah.
is great. The Miasmatic Blade from the Realm of Shadow I
Yeah.
took as well, which is just a straight up -1 to hit. It's a blade, but it produces shadow, so it's a -1 to hit for the bearer.
Right.
It's those kind. I like those kind of static, like the entire game long. This effect is going to be in place,
Yeah.
unlike this one where you have to make the roll.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're going all in with this one.
Yeah, and you
You know,
have
and
to.
there's a few of those that I kind of glanced over that you're doing that too. You're going all in. It's all or nothing, and most of the time it's going to be nothing.
And for me, I have to create, like, I've got all these cards I use for all my different items and
Yeah.
abilities. So I would have to create a card for this and have it in my deck. You know, my little, like, Magic the Gathering deck I bring with my Warhammer
Right.
army that I'm, remember, my little reminder to myself, don't forget to put those, do that roll.
Yeah.
Otherwise I forget.
Yep.
Oh, we've all been there.
I'm going to do the next one because
right.
the next one is the one I would actually take in my
Oh,
army.
all right, cool.
Do it.
Anrahir's Claw. This blade strikes with the incredible power of its namesake. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons to be Anrahir's Claw. If the wound roll for that weapon is 6-up, add 2 to the damage characteristic of that weapon for the attack.
Add 2.
Add 2.
Not it doesn't become 2. You're adding 2
Adding
to
2.
it.
So if it was 1, now it's 2. If it was 2, now it's 4. I like that. I know it's on a 6-up, but if I was going to pick one of these, any of these, to add to a Daughters of Cain army, I would give this to a Slaughter Queen or a Hag Queen.
Yeah. Because the amount of attacks that they have, so there's a chance that at least
With a high reroll,
one is coming up.
depending on what's going on,
I would say.
they get to reroll wounds pretty commonly.
Yeah.
Can you hear my dog? My puppy. My
She
puppies.
really likes this artifact too.
She does.
Yeah,
she's a big
she does.
fan.
She's
It's
a big
Realm of
fan.
Beasts, so
And I-
she's yeah.
Yeah, and I think the reason why is because on the previous artifact, you would do the wounds, and then you would have to roll an additional die and get 5 up
Yeah.
Yeah.
on any wound. So you could have done 4 wounds, and then you roll 4 dice, right? And then you
Yeah.
look to see if you get 5 ups.
May not
This
happen.
one is saying any of the wound rolls that were already 6 up. You're not re-rolling an additional die.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're rolling less die. Like you're rolling less dice. Does that help you out in here
Well,
better than?
if you've got one of those combat characters where, like, the round 4 for the Daughters of Cain, they're re-rolling all 1s to wound. So if I'm rolling, say 5 wound rolls, pretty decent chance that one of them's going to be a 6. And if one of them's a 1, then another chance to roll a 6. So and there's other ways to get re-rolls. And I think this is saying if the wound roll for the weapon is a 6-up, when does the modifier happen? Because I think the modifier happens after rerolls. So if I had something that was already giving me a +1 to my wound characteristic, some kind of spell or whatever else.
Yeah.
I really like this one. I like the chance that one of my attacks, instead of it being 1 damage, is going to be 3 damage.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. We were just talking about, off mic, about this opportunity I had to kill Nagash with Marathi, and how it came down. Nagash had 3 wounds left, and I missed an attack that would have done 4 wounds. If that wound had landed, or if any of these other wounds had landed, it would have made a huge difference. And so definitely thinking about my Daughters of King, because that's where most of my focus is. I have a lot of really cheap heroes. The Hag Queen is 60 points. It is nothing to put one of these Hag Queens out there and sneak her around and find a vulnerable place to land her, and have a weapon like this where I can sneak in on a hero and really do some damage.
Yeah, no, totally.
I like this weapon a lot.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
right.
What's you want to do?
The Amberglaive. The ancient weapons known as Amberglaives will reshape themselves in a moment so as to reach the foe. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons to be an Amberglaive. Add 1 inch to the range characteristic of that weapon to a maximum of 3 inches. In addition, add 1 to hit rolls for that weapon.
Those are 2 very big statistic changes.
Yeah. And they're
2 very different.
That's every attack. It's not, hey, you roll a 6, you get this. It's every attack gets +1 inch.
All right, so my Realm of Beasts is telling me it's time for a break. So let's keep talking about the Amberglaive, and then I'm gonna go deal with this tiny little beast. But
She owns you.
she does.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
first
and I
time
understand.
dog
She's so stinking adorable.
parent for a parent. And this is the cutest dog I think I've ever seen. I'm so happy to have this dog. But yeah, she's 3 months old, and
I think she needs to go out.
it sounds like she needs to go out. She's ready for a break. But about the Amberglaive, the 2 things. Add 1 inch to the range characteristic of the weapon. That seems to me, in my experience, to be and Luna, my puppy, agrees with me. It seems to be a relatively minor thing, that 1 inch range difference. You have to be very good doing your pile in for that 1 inch instead of 2 inches to be important. I don't know how many times you guys have encountered this, but that 1 inch instead of 2 inches, I mean, if you're clever and you plan, because this is a hero, and you being able to do your 3 inch pile in and then attack 2 inches away, if you're clever, you can get to someone who's protected, which is what this is really for, right?
Yeah,
right.
To get to that protected hero, which is pretty. It's great if you can capitalize on it, but how often?
Yeah, it's gonna be few and far between, honestly.
But if you can't capitalize it, you get that second
You
factor.
still get the add 1 to hit rolls.
Add 1 to hit rolls isn't
Pretty
bad.
good. No,
I
that's
think
not bad.
that's all around a good.
Yeah.
The
artifact.
Amberglaive.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Krull,
Oh yeah.
one of my favorite terrible 80s sci-fi
Yes.
movies, Krull. Fantasy sci-fi.
Love it.
The glaive is that 5-pointed claw weapon the guy throws in those movies.
It's like a ninja star that you would make in school.
in school, but he can control it with his mind, and but he only uses it for
can do that
one
too.
scene in the movie, even though it's the most powerful weapon on the planet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Exactly.
the glaive. This is the Amberglaive.
It's like Voltron's sword.
Mark, you want to do the blade of carving?
Let's do that. So number 4, the blade of carving. Now this blade seeks the perfect spot to separate meat from the bone. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons to be a blade of carving. If a hit roll for an attack with the weapon is 6 up, the wound roll for that attack is automatically successful. So, all right.
It's still a solid weapon.
It is.
Yeah.
True.
And again, all these weapons come back to heroes that are doing lots of attacks. And if I've got a hero that's gonna, I'm gonna roll 5 attacks with this one weapon.
Yeah.
This is nice.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's
to
pretty
just
good.
just forego that wound roll. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very much like the bloodletters. If they score a 6 up,
Automatically wounds.
Automatically wounds, and it's a mortal wound too. This
Yeah, it's a
one's
regular wound.
Yeah, no, but
But still, it
good.
automatically hits.
That's
You don't have to
awesome. Yeah, no,
skip that whole roll.
exactly. Because usually that's when you fail.
All right, so this is number 5, the Rage Blade. All the bestial anger of Ghur was poured into the forging of this blade. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons to be a Rage Blade. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of this weapon. This is one we've seen in all the realms so far. There's at least one weapon that will give you +1 to your attacks characteristic. Yeah, if I had a hero that was going to do something like D3 wounds or D3 damage to get that extra attack that was potentially going to do that difference, then yes. Otherwise, I wouldn't take it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Depends on the damage output.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Rock Jaws.
There we go.
When thrown at the foe, this steel-sprung trap will clamp down tightly enough to penetrate metal, flesh, and bone. In your shooting phase, you can pick an enemy unit within 8 inches of the bearer that is visible to them and roll a dice. On a 3-up, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds.
Rock Jaws.
Rock Jaws.
If I didn't have anything to do in the shooting phase, nice to just add something in the shooting phase, to not waste the entire shooting phase like I do with my Daughters of the Game most of the time. Not that it's wasted, but
What's it? I mean, it's a 3-up to do D3 mortal wounds. That's not bad.
no, that's great. 3-up to do D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, and it's not like you're taking away from another shooting weapon. You're just saying,
No,
in addition to anything else that you do,
you got to be close enough.
shoot.
So, again, bringing it back to my Daughters of Cain, I can maybe I put this on the Cauldron of Blood, and then I keep the Cauldron of Blood behind the Witch Elves, so they're never going to be. She's never going to be closer than 8 inches. So I keep her just that 8 inches away, and I have a chance to do on a 3-up. I do D3 wounds in the shooting phase. It's not bad. I can't. This is another one where I don't know why I would never pick this. What about you guys?
Nah, I
Yeah.
don't see it happening.
I can't think of a circumstance where I would pick this compared to all the other options.
Yeah.
All right, Artifacts of Power, Relics of Ghur. Mark, you want to do the first one?
Yes, the artifacts. All right, so number 1, the Beast Caller's Bones. These jangling charms mesmerize the beasts of the realm. Start of the combat phase, roll a dice for each monster within 3 inches of the bearer. Oh, geez. If you'd want the monsters within 3 inches of you. On a 5-up, the monster being rolled for cannot attack this phase. If the monster is a mount, the rider may still attack with their own weapon as normal. So that's very defensive.
It's neat.
It is, but
if you had, I can only see if you had a meta where there were a lot of heroes riding monsters. If everybody had a Star Drake or some, what's the orc one?
The Maw Crusher.
The Maw Crusher or something like that. If that was like, if everybody was running something like that, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. 5-up.
5-up, shut it down.
It's a risky roll.
Yeah.
It's a risky roll, and you're counting on someone else bringing a monster.
Yeah.
This is only an artifact if I was doing some kind of campaign in Ghur.
Yeah.
Ghur.
Right. Because there's no reason why you would give up the ability to add 1 to your hit rolls, add 1 to your range.
Yes.
3-up to do D3 mortal wounds.
All these other things. This thing is
add 2 to your damage.
It's so specific about monsters.
No.
Nobody's going to do this unless it's a thematic thing or they've got it. Like if we were doing a campaign
No, that'd be different.
where you could get this thing for free.
Yeah.
You know,
there
where
we
we
go.
would just
Yep.
like, I won the last game and this was given to me as a random roll from the last game, that kind of campaign. That would be different.
Yep.
All right, the next one is the Dragon Forged Plate. Forged in the fire of dragons and quenched in their blood. This plate is proof against the great beasts that roam the realms. So the Dragon Forged Plate allows you to re-roll save rolls of 1 for the bearer against attacks that have a random damage characteristic.
What?
Random damage characteristic, meaning that your damage
D3.
is D3, D6. Your damage is not just a fixed number, it's D3 or D6.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's a monster.
Yeah.
I think more often than not, the monsters are the ones with the multiple...
Right.
the-
Or a
the
spell.
random-
True. Yeah.
Or a spell. This is...
There's a lot of things that do D3
When
mortal wounds.
When I see this, yeah, agreed. Most of the time when I see this, I think of monsters. But you're right. Like, there are a lot of heroes out there that have a random damage characteristic.
So one, you might not get a roll on D3 mortal wounds because it's a save roll of 1. So
Yeah.
You may not get a save roll for mortal wounds.
Yeah, because it's just adding to the save roll.
Yeah. Well, it's re-rolling save rolls of 1.
Yeah.
So now you're talking about attacks that do D3 damage or D6 damage or something like that.
Yeah, so you've got your -2 rend. I roll my save. I roll a 1. I roll again. I still need to roll, above your save roll. This isn't awesome. I mean, it's...
No.
You have to be rolling against multiple wound characteristic and... yeah, it's not great. So the next one, Nicholas, is yours. Number 3.
The Griff Feather Charm. Rarely do these feathers fall, and those who manage to acquire one are lucky indeed. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target the bearer. In addition, add 1 inch to the bearer's move characteristics.
I like this. Because I was taking that miasmatic blade before from the Realm of Shadow, and all that was doing was the -1 to hit rolls. Ooh. So this is -1 to hit rolls and add 1 to their movement.
Yep.
Yeah, that has that same flavor, of the weapon that did 2 things at one time as well.
I like this one.
This does 2 things. That's great.
I think this, if the meta, and we don't really talk about meta because we don't play a shit ton of games, but if the meta was shooting, and I think about meta and shooting because I tend to think of my list building with the KO and the dwarves in mind.
Yeah.
Because I feel I face so much shooting from you, Nicholas.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
That I have to plan my list with some defense against shooting.
Oh, totally.
And this is a great artifact for some defense against shooting. To get your +1 movement and your -1 to hit.
That's great.
For
Love
my
it.
Cauldron of
'Cause
Blood.
Yeah, no, that's great because you're getting across the board right there. And you have the -1.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. This is great.
All right, Mark. Gargant.
Oh, the Gargant Bow Dice. Yeah, this is the one we like right
Yeah.
here. So when rolled, these dice shake the ground with the force of a falling giant. So once per battle in the hero phase, you can declare that the bearer will roll their Gargant Bone Dice. If you do so, roll 3 dice. For each roll of a 5-up, each enemy unit within 6 inches of the bearer suffers D3 mortal wounds. So that's pretty good. Potential.
I love this one.
Yeah.
Thematically.
This is fun. No, exactly, because it's dice.
It's dice.
You're rolling dice.
Everything in this game is about rolling dice. So to have internally,
Hey, random.
your hero has their own
Yep.
handful of 3 dice.
Yeah.
And once per game, they can roll their 3 dice. And on a 5-up, they cause a shit ton of wounds.
Yep.
I love
Easy.
this. And I would not strategically in a tournament pick this.
Huh.
I would pick this if we were going to play a game and it's like, hey, everybody, tonight I'm from this realm and here's my bone dice.
I like that.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, Nicholas, you're the Shard Fist.
Shard Fist Pelt. This jagged cloak tears at any foe who comes too close. Each time you make a save roll of 6 up, for the bearer in the combat phase, the attacking unit suffers 1 mortal wound after all of its attacks have been made. Which, it's what you're shooting for, but how often are you rolling 6 ups? Could be good.
If
If it's 10 times, if you rolled,
it's true. Like if you're gonna put someone out there where they're gonna face a mob, and your opponent, is making 10 plus attacks, there's gonna be at least a 6 in there, most likely.
Right.
Yeah, a chance to do a wound back, and with the Daughters of Cain list I run the 1 unit of 30 with the bladed bucklers, where I'm hoping for that 6 up save, where I do a mortal wound back, and then I do a prayer martyr sacrifice, where on a 5 up, each model slain on a 5 up, they do a mortal wound back. So the whole point of that unit is to do mortal wounds back. So if I had a hero nearby, the one that's giving them the martyr sacrifice prayer, maybe I put this on her.
Yeah.
Just making everything about that block about, if you attack me, you're paying for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, go for it. Tuskhelm.
Oh, is that me? The wearer crashes into the foe with the force of the mightiest of charging beasts. Roll a dice for each enemy unit within 1 inches of the bearer after the bearer completes a charge move. On a 4 up, the unit being rolled for suffers 1 mortal wound. This is very much the chariot rule for a lot of the with the Daughters of Cain.
Yep.
They have the Cauldron of Blood as a chariot. Most chariots or charging creatures have a similar rule. So basically, you're putting on your hero, you're giving them this effect. Would this stack with a hero that's already on a chariot?
It should. I would like to think so.
I would think so.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you got a hero that's going to charge anyway, and you're counting on them charging anyway.
No, exactly. It makes it that much more desirable.
Yeah, might as well give them a chance to do 1 more mortal wound.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, those are artifacts for Ghur. How do you guys feel about these?
They're pretty good. Yeah, not bad.
There's some fun. I really like that Anrahir's claw. That's my favorite in this list. What about you guys? The Grith Feather Charm. I also like the Grith Feather Charm a lot. If I had a hero that I just like, I don't want them to fight. I want them to be hard to kill. So -1 to hit them, and they can just they are fast and hard to hit.
I like that one or the Amber Glaive, and I think it's because both of those do 2 things.
Yeah,
and I like that you get 2 opportunities out of.
They're doing more work than the rest that are in the list.
Yeah. So I could see you looking at who your hero is that you want to put it on, and looking at either one and saying, the Grith Feather Charm would be better, or the Amber Glaive would be better.
I like that idea. If I was going to commit to an army from the Realm of Beasts, I would be picking one of those 3 artifacts. I see you looking around. I don't know if it's showing up on the mic. It's raining pretty hard right now. And of course, this is Orlando, Florida at 1 a.m. and it's pouring rain because we live in a swamp.
Yeah. It is not the sunshine capital of the world. It is the thunderstorm capital of the world. No, this is our spell right here.
Year.
Yep.
Does anybody need a break before we do
spells? Go right to it. Come on. Do
we
it.
Got it. The Amber Spear. The wizard conjures a lance of pure amber and hurls it towards the foe. The Amber Spear has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick a point on the battlefield within 12 inches of the caster that is visible to them and draw an imaginary straight line, 1 millimeter wide between
1 millimeter.
1 millimeter.
1 millimeter.
And that point, and the closest part of the caster. Each unit other than the caster that has models passed across by this line suffers 1 mortal wound.
So this is 8th edition to the present day. This is a very familiar type of spell where you're drawing a line and everything under the line takes a wound.
It's not model, right?
It's every unit.
Yeah, no, it's every unit. So
yeah.
So that's less impactful.
Yeah, I'd love it every model.
Every
model that cuts a line.
That's true, because that's kind of
You're
old
taking a
school,
wound.
too.
Yep.
Hell with all of you.
I'll go.
Okay.
Bestial spirit. So, a feral spirit of a great beast is summoned into existence by the wizard to rampage through the enemy lines. So, the bestial spirit has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick an enemy unit within 18 inches of the caster that is visible to them. That unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. In addition, if the unit suffers 3 mortal wounds from the spell, subtract 1 from its bravery characteristic until your next hero phase. So, all
Nice
right.
damage spell.
I like that. Yeah, get a bit of a range
The
to
D,
it.
I mean, when you're talking about damage spells,
Yeah.
D3 is pretty much the flat expected, and it's
Yeah.
nice to have that extra -1 bravery if you do
Yeah,
manage to roll
right.
that 5
Get
or 6.
the 3.
Yep.
Yep.
Get the kicker.
Yeah. The next one is Flock of Doom, which is not Flock of Seagulls.
Same thing.
Yeah, similar. Yeah. Flock of Doom. Reaching to the skies, the wizard brings down a swarm of vicious birds to peck and claw at the enemy, and that wizard's name is Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes.
Flock of Doom has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick an enemy unit within 18 inches of the caster that is visible to them and roll 12 dice. For each 6 up, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. I like it,
Statistically, you're going to get 2 mortal wounds.
probably.
Right. But I love that chance
Yeah.
that you roll 5 6s and the opponent's like, what?
So looking at Bestial Spirit versus Flock of Doom. All right, so the caster rolls casting value of 6, 18 inches, D3 mortal wounds. Flock of Doom, casting value of 6, 18 inches of the caster, 12 dice, 6 up, 1 mortal wound.
Yeah,
Statistically, those are pretty much the same, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But there's opportunity for more
There's
than
higher opportunity to do more wounds with the second one.
It's a chance. It's a gamble.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble. The other one, you're guaranteed to subtract 1. No, you're not. They have to suffer 3 mortal wounds for the bravery. So it's only on a
Correct.
5 up. You get the -1 bravery
On 1 dice.
on 1 dice. I mean, if I had to pick one of these, I'm picking, absolutely, Flock of Doom every time.
I think so.
Every time.
All right.
Who's next?
Impenetrable hide. The wizard's skin hardens and grows thick fur, protecting it against even the strongest of blows. Impenetrable hide has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, you can re-roll failed save rolls for the caster until the start of your next hero phase.
Failed save rolls. If I had an army where the caster was my general and my entire army hinged upon the general's survival. So if coming back to the Daughters of Cain, if Marathi's my general and everything in my army depends on Marathi staying alive, then I would use this spell. Otherwise, there's no way I would use this spell. It was only if my army was completely dependent on my caster staying alive.
Yeah. So for your Cauldron of Blood.
Well, it's a spell.
And they're not spellcasters.
Yeah, you have to be a caster, and this is not.
Yeah.
The Cauldron's not a spellcaster.
Well,
All right, Mark.
There you get the next one.
I do?
Yeah.
All right, Cower. Transfixing a beast with a steely glare, the wizard briefly binds the creature to their will. Cower has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick an enemy monster within 12 inches of the caster that is visible to them and roll 2d6. If the result is higher than the monster's bravery characteristic, it cannot make a charge move in your opponent's next turn. So Cower, again, realm of beasts, talking about monsters. If you're taking this spell, you're counting on your opponent having a monster in their list. You're counting on yourself having the opportunity to cast a spell on a monster that's within 12 inches of your caster. And if you have the spell portal, it says within 12 inches of the caster. It doesn't say the range is 12 inches. So you can't use a spell portal under those circumstances. So I cannot imagine someone assigning this to their spellcaster before the game starts, like choosing this spell. Even if the meta, if you know your opponent is always going to bring a monster, and you know that opponent is always going to try and charge that monster at your caster, that's the only time I can imagine someone bringing this.
And I think most, based on the tournament that we did together at Crucible, most opponents will have a monster in their list.
Sure.
But you are designating one spell for your caster for one specific unit of the opponent. You know?
Yeah, and you have to roll 2d6, and that end result has to be higher than the monster's bravery characteristic. So say it has a bravery characteristic of 6, and you're hoping, and that means it's a monster that doesn't have a hero on its back. Usually, like a monster with a hero on its back is going to have a really high bravery.
Right.
I don't know how I would ever use this.
Right. All right, Primal Hunter.
All right, here we go. Primal Hunter, summoning the spirits of legendary beast slayers. The wizard bestows the speed and skill of these peerless hunters on an ally. Primal Hunter has a casting value of 8. If successfully cast, pick a friendly hero within 12 inches of the caster that is visible to them. Reroll failed charge rolls and also reroll hit rolls for that hero until your next hero phase.
I like it. If you know you're gonna run your hero in.
Yeah.
And I think if your attacky hero is also a wizard, I think you can cast this on yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no, totally you could do that. So, yeah.
I like it.
It's a good it's a good option for big heroes that are casters.
Yeah. And again, this is
Is a bloodthirster a caster?
No.
Oh.
No. They don't deal with magic.
No
magic.
That's right. Corn's no magic.
No magic for Corn.
No magic.
Corn rules.
Corn
Wizards
rules,
drool.
Wizards drool. That's exactly it. Get it right.
Yeah.
A lot of the artifacts and the spells, I would only choose if I'd already committed to having my army from Ghur. Ghur. It's like a consolation prize. I'm like, I know I'm picking Ghur. I know I need it for this reason, and I don't have anything to do with my wizard or my other hero, so I'll just pick something else to fill in the gap. Yeah, other than that end here's that I really like, I don't think there's anything from Ghur that I would choose.
Yeah.
But Ghur is still a really exciting place to have your army from. Thematically, I would absolutely love to put an army together that was from Ghur. I think that if I was ever going to do a Skaven army again, I would love to do a Skaven army from Ghur.
Really?
Yeah, I think that would be fun. Skaven from the realm of beasts with all these, they've got some inexpensive heroes that I could put these neat weapons on, and some spellcasters that are really important spellcasters that I need to keep alive.
Yep.
A Skaven army from Ghur would be a lot of fun. What about you guys? Can you see putting your own armies from Ghur?
Yeah, well,
I
mean, I could even see like even that last one going for a Ragnarok spider with a goblin shaman on top.
Oh, yeah.
So he casts it. His model gets to re-roll failed charges. That's nice.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I'd take it.
Yeah. The Ragnarok definitely reminds me of the elephants in Return of the King.
Yep.
Very much having the goblin, the grot shaman on top of there, like making the spider charge in there.
Yeah.
What about Khorne? Can you see bringing a Khorne or Slaves to Darkness army from Ghur?
Oh, I could totally see that. You know,
What-
I think more corn than anything else. So yeah. Oh, yeah. So no, I see corn more than anything else. You know, coming from this realm, because they're all about the skulls, and what better? I mean, you get that vision of these giant, humongous, just huge skeletal beasts that are just already decayed. The bone is bleached. In these arenas, and what better to present to Khorne than these giant skulls?
Oh man!
Yeah,
If
so-
Khorne's already counting skulls,
Oh, yeah.
but do bigger skulls count more than multiple skulls? Like, how many human skulls are worth like Gargant skull?
Oh, right. No, that's a good. I want to see that math. I want to see that spreadsheet. So yeah.
Yeah, which Khorne priest is doing that Excel?
Oh yeah. No.
That
no.
Excel file.
We'll get it done. I'll make something up.
All right,
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
What about Nicholas? You've got so many armies on the go. Which ones are from Ghur?
I think my Greenskins army is obviously from Ghur. It's got to be.
Thank you.
How can
I
you
agree.
not?
No,
how
exactly.
can you not
Yeah.
have your Oryx from Ghur?
Right. How can I not? And even my goblins, like, I don't have like an official goblins army yet. I have enough goblins to have a goblins army. I just haven't made one yet.
Gotcha.
They would be from Ghur too, because they're wanting to always live up to the power of the Oryx. They're always, the Grots are always wanting to show by their force that they can be as powerful as the Oryx.
Yeah. And if not by force, by cunning.
Yeah, and they have the beasts, and they have that same mentality of like, we just have to fight and we have to kill.
Yeah.
So I could see them coming from other realms too, just because of that nature of being in the caves and being underground and things like that. But for sure, Greenskins from Ghur all the time.
All right, so modeling, sculpting, table building,
Yes.
terrain. How do you show that your army is from Ghur?
I think my basing would be very rock based with grass spritzed throughout.
So
not
again, like
grass based with rocks spritzed.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. So you're picturing a more of a wasteland than a lush landscape.
I think so. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The that box of skulls from GW.
That's what I envisioned too. So, but I want to go like, one step further, and I want to do like, rib cages that are just like, ridiculous on the bases, and that might be like, a hero base, just where it's like, just towering above the hero, and he's like marching through this, that's what I envision.
I think it'd be fun to go to a place like Joanne or Michael's and
And
find like
a human rib cage.
Oh, there we go.
And then
True.
make it a terrain piece
Yes.
of a giant rib cage.
that. I'm also thinking about those like
Exactly. I'm not using mine. Let's use some.
Yeah.
like the dinosaur excavation play sets.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Where,
yeah,
you know what I'm talking
that's
about? Where the
fun.
like is the play set where you're
Exactly.
excavating the
Yep.
T-Rex or the different dinosaurs. You can just like make those into bases.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and having those piles of skulls, of course, would
Yeah.
make for great Ghur bases.
Yes.
The realm of beasts. That's Ghur. I'm gonna cut that out. Don't worry about it. Anyway, yeah. When it comes to sculpting, what about the table itself? Other than your own units having little like bone on all the bases, what about the table? I've seen some. So let me start off with seeing some that
Yeah.
I've seen some where people have just taken those very popular to take the Petland or those different pet stores, the the type of skeletons people put in fish tanks. It's
I
all
was
that fish
thinking of
tank stuff.
that. I've seen so much of that. Well, actually, like walking through the aisles, and I'm like, oh, that would be so cool, and
Yeah,
it's so surreal. Just
yes, but when I see it in a video,
yeah,
and I know it's from that fish tank aisle, I think
it doesn't go.
you didn't even try. You
Yeah,
just
no,
bought
exactly.
that fish tank thing.
Yeah.
And those fish tank things aren't.
Are expensive.
They are expensive. They're not a lot cheaper than Warhammer stuff.
No,
And they
exactly.
look. They're gonna look the same on every table. If you're gonna if you're gonna pick one of those, at least paint it. At least do
that's
something
true.
to make it look a little bit more.
Crack it in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark it up.
Yeah, mark it up.
Do
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Do something.
Yeah.
Don't
No.
just leave it like it is. Make some value out of your purchase.
Yeah. No, exactly. I believe I've collected enough roadkill to where
You
I
could
can
make something that looks.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Those that don't know Mark is really Mark and his family. You're really into collecting like real life skeletal remains.
Yes. Yeah. No, exactly.
Not
yeah.
the creeper. It's not Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Not
it's
anything
not The
like
Hills
that.
Have Eyes.
No. But it's very much like skeletal remains. I want to get into rearticulation and have many things in jars.
Yeah, and it's not creepy. It's an appreciation of nature.
Yeah.
You know, it's an appreciation of the
exactly.
real world.
Yeah.
But at the same time as saying that, I feel like I would have a hard time moving my Warhammer models across like a possum carcass or something like that. I feel like that would be a bit. I would.
How about just don't tell us and just
I will
do
not.
it?
I'm going to do it. Yes.
I think don't
I'm
tell
going to do
us.
it. I'm going to do it,
you know-
and we'll post pictures.
The suspension of
There we
disbelief.
go. Yes.
If someone has like a selection of fake bones
Yeah.
where they've created this like dead worm or dead dragon or something like that versus seeing a skeletal structure I recognize from a raccoon or a possum, that would be hard for my brain to hit that disconnect button to suspend my disbelief when I'm playing my game.
That could
But
be.
yeah, it's true. But talking about these different cities from earlier, that the Gargant wastelands and the cities that have the dead animals, even in episode 4 of Star Wars,
Oh yeah.
when the stormtroopers are searching the desert, there's a big
The big crate dragon skeleton across
crate
the desert.
dragon.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
That's the kind of thing
like
that I
that.
imagine in the realm of beasts, as far as like
absolutely.
models on the table.
So what that means is, Mark, mix your skeletons to not be recognizable with the matching bones. So
Yeah.
take a skull from this animal and take a spinal cord and
Oh, I could totally
other
do that.
matching bones
Oh,
from this
absolutely.
animal.
Yeah. You have
That
no
way
idea what it
Adam
is.
can't look at it and go,
Can't.
wait a second,
Wait a
that's a
minute.
raccoon.
That's a bloody possum.
No, he would go like, wait, what? Where did that come from? Like,
Or use the actual skeletal remains to like create a mold, and from that mold,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like create some actual battlefield terrain. So I don't feel like I'm actually playing with a dead animal.
Fair enough.
That's
All right,
that's
we
me.
got this.
I don't want to play with a dead animal.
there you go.
I have also places like Spirit Halloween Store and all these places that sell all these skeletal stuff and remains. There's this I want to say 18-inch, 24-inch skeleton that they sell that I would love to like break apart to make terrain pieces for that Gargant like graveyard. Do you know what I mean? That whole terrain that's all that Gargant graveyard. Plus, I would love to get some giant turtle shells for that whole city that's from like the
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. I want
Yeah.
the turtle poop.
turtle poop.
Yeah.
That like turtles the size of
Yeah.
a city, and then the
Shit gold
worms.
out there.
No, exactly. No,
The city on the back of a worm.
It's awesome.
To have like a table that like if you got near the edges, you would start to slide off because you were on the edges of the worm.
Yeah.
You know, you're
Stick
gonna
to the middle to this city.
I
yeah.
love it.
Otherwise, you're just gonna slide off.
Because I envision like all as a kid, you know, watching the old creature double feature movies, and it's all the monster movies, like Godzilla. You know, it's all like Monster Island right here. This is like everybody is out for one another. Everybody's killing each other.
Yes.
You don't know who's on your side or
Godzilla,
not. Most likely
Monster
you're going to
Island.
get killed after they, fight what you thought was the enemy.
King Kong, Skull Island.
No, exactly. That's it too. Yeah.
All right, so I feel like we've covered it. Anything else about Ghur? The Realm of Beasts. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I think we covered it.
I think I want to play now.
I know. I'm dying to play.
No,
I'm dying
totally.
to play some games and like get some monsters ready. I have that Reaper model that looks kind of like a Carmine dragon that I'm ready to just drop in you guys' faces.
Let's do that. No, exactly. I'll get the worm going. Let's do
yeah,
that.
yeah. Paint that Maw
Yes.
Crusher worm.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so this is the end of our episode about the Ghur, the Realm of Beasts, and at the end of our episode, we like to sign off with the same appropriate to the Realm of Beasts orc saying,
Yeah.
This has been an episode of WARlando. I am Adam. You can reach me as WARlando77 on Twitter or just WARlando on Instagram. You can reach Mark on Twitter and Instagram with the handle of WARlandoMark. You can reach Nicholas on Twitter and Instagram with the handle of WARlandoNick. Please leave comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And thank you very much for listening. Ghur.
You got to say it like that. Yeah. The hand motion.
I can't,
perfectly.
yeah. Oh, peace.
With Tabby Leotard.
Tabby Leotard.
Tabby Leotard.
No, that's my DJ name. 3 grown men doing little kitty paws every time we say Ghur.
You're so ferocious, Adam.
And I didn't tell you I was going to do the cat sound.
So we're going to talk about the realm of Ghur.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ghur, the realm of beasts.
The realm of